So I have good news and bad news. The good news is this book allows you to actually play dragons. The bad news is it also allows you to play Kitsune, and for whatever reason, that is the only thing that I have ever seen people talk about with this book. I don't know why. There's other options in it. There's some neat ones in there, but that's the only one that I see. Hey there, and welcome to a Lore Ramblings. Name's Adam, and we're looking at the prototype for what became the Lunars. Kind of. Not really.
I'm Imsit, and yes, it is the first book for Werewolf, Hey Yokai.
Hengi Yokai. And
I
I'm
don't,
Tech
I don't,
Freeze.
I don't know Asian languages. I'm gonna butcher it.
Oh god.
It's going to go great.
Yeah, Hengi Yokai. And I actually own a physical copy of this book that I found at a used bookstore about a decade ago.
Tech, are you on some kind of list?
I would not be surprised.
No,
No,
I will say
no.
this.
Specifically
been,
this book.
No.
Did this get you on the list just for owning this book?
No, I would think it would have to do with I don't know, the Army Guide to Improvised Explosives. So that one probably is more important to them.
And listen, go to your local gaming store or half-price books, and you will find some rare treasures for RPGs.
Also,
I found
a lot of
Earthdawn.
yeah. You also find a lot of slop, like a lot of PBTA slop that's just been unloaded. But you can find gems
No,
like Henge Yokai, Shapeshifters of the East. Or alternatively, you could also maybe find a copy of Kindred of the East, which I have a physical copy of.
I found copies of Mummy, Demon, Vampire of the Dark Ages, all of the first edition Exalted hardcovers as well.
Wait, you actually have a copy of Old Mummy? What?
Yes, I've mentioned it before. I have a copy of Old Mummy. I don't like to open it because the binding's falling apart.
I thought you had the new Mummy as a physical.
No.
Oh.
I have the old one as a physical. I've read through it before as a physical one.
You poor bastard. Oh man, I would never own that one as a physical. No offense. No offense. There's a reason Mummy died before it could even walk the earth.
makes sense because they're dead.
No, they're actually not. They come back. But anyway, Henge
Look, Old
Yokai.
Mummy. Yeah, we will have to cover Old Mummy at some point.
It's a wild ride. It's also very weirdly sexually charged, which is not surprising.
It's White Wolf. When isn't it?
So this copy has the back end right here rather than at the back, and you see a harbinger of things to come. It's a fox girl in a kippah.
As soon as I saw the back of this book, I was like, okay, this is old White Wolf cheese. I have to see what's actually in it.
It can't be that bad, right? Well, technically, also, there's actually stuff in there that's pretty good. The problem is the worst players I have ever heard about only have this book just to play one specific breed. But no, there's great stuff like the comic Lunabe Sentai Gaiaman.
The comic is one of my favorite shitty old White Wolf start of book comics.
Hold on, wait. At the bottom, is that Comic Sans?
Yes. They unironically used it. Everything's written in Comic Sans.
Yes.
And it's basically a chronicle told from the point of view of a goofy Sentai.
So what toy do you think they're advertising for this one? I think it looks like the masks. I think the masks. It looks like it's a magic themed one.
Again, Kamen Rider mixed with just
it's a Tokusatsu.
Power Rangers, yeah, Tokusatsu.
Five.
And
you could use this. You could use this spider image with just the words 5. Just replace it. Like, this is an exploitable right here. That's an exploitable.
I mean, it is. That is an exploitable. You could easily put pathetic there, and it would be perfect.
I'm definitely going to totally not do that and turn it into an emoji on our Discord. I actually think I will at the end of this stream.
Again, this whole section is not terrible because it does show like
The
a lot of the different breeds
Well, not only that, like
that you'll be covering.
they're all being depicted in their human forms, hinting at what they become. And on top of that, this tells you the sort of tone. It doesn't always have to be like this. They also have after this they have a story that's much more serious. But this is really good at showing you how fucking goofy you can get. This is full Warrior of Gaia mode. And then after this comic, which does have a little bit of tragedy near the end where one of the characters' girlfriends gets killed, it then goes into a more serious work, which I think kind of works out well. Also, yes, here's the Tiger Man. He is here to basically kick your ass.
Yeah. I think that it does really well at being a more serious work when it gets to that part.
Which it does here at an inauspicious burial. I'm not going to read the whole thing out loud, but essentially what happens is there is a Shadow Lord, if I recall, called Michael Walks
It's
on
a
Ashes.
stargazer.
A Stargazer, thank you. A Stargazer. A Stargazer wants to bring his mentor's bones and ashes back to his home village because his mentor died and wished for this to happen. He gets accosted by a bunch of changers, a bunch of other shape changers. It almost turns into a fight, and essentially what it does is it goes through them being extremely suspicious and skeptical of the West because, reminder what the Guru fucking did. Reminder of what they did to the other breeds. Tensions
What they had
rise
to
high.
do.
And they also describe a little bit of what happened in the intervening times when his mentor left. His whole family was disappeared by the People's Republic as enemies of the state. It then culminates in him learning that, wait, you guys actually are a pack, like a whole pack? You're not killing each other? And they go, no, we're like a Super Sentai team. This is the more serious take on this.
Right. It just shows like that the way that it works over in Asia for the changing breeds and the werewolves is very different than it would be
Else,
back in the West.
Because remember, you've got what was it, like the Orient Adventures for D&D. You have Rifts with their whole China setting. East Asia was a very exotic setting to put a lot of stuff in.
Well, it wasn't just getting exotic. This is the late 90s, and even in the early 90s, there was a strong East Asian fever coming along. Because in the 80s, you had the rise of Kung Fu action stars. In the 90s, this is when anime is starting to really make its foothold in the West. It's getting very terrible dubs.
Anime dubbing has gone from being really niche to like they're now starting to play this as children's cartoons on like Saturday morning.
This is the era
Pokemon is
of
the big
Ocean
one.
Group's dub of Dragon Ball Z, where it has the Rock the Dragon and
There's-
everything.
Well, first off, you get Dragon Ball Z with all that fun stuff, and then later on, towards the end of the decade, you get Pokemon. And
not only that,
Pokemon,
it just came out.
Stress enough. Yeah, Pokemon just came out and was a smash hit. Like it was unbelievably popular. There were a lot of people that were assuming it was going to be a fad and burn out, but here we are.
Game Freak alone actually thought, if you're wondering why the second generation's so weird and covers both Kanto and Johto, that was them going, okay, we got to strike while the iron's hot. Let's just make one more game, and it's probably going to be over by then. It wasn't over by then.
It wasn't over, and then the Game Boy Advance came out, and the demand was, well, where's the next Pokemon game? And that's how we got Ruby and Sapphire. They spent more
it
dev
also
time
helps
on
that, if you're wondering, Pokemon licensing is really cursed. It is split 3 to 4 ways between 3 to 4 different companies. Nintendo owns a third of it. Game Freak owns about a third to 40% of it. Then there's Creatures,
and then there's the Pokemon
Inc.
Company. And then there's the Pokemon Company. So there's
Pokemon
about 4
Company
ways
is supposed to bridge it together, and that's why rights to doing things with Pokemon is such a nightmare.
It can be very, very difficult, but it's very, very lucrative. Is the other thing.
But here's the thing: that is the Asian market coming to the United States.
Right.
This is the stuff like this is the United States with and with these authors' limited understanding of China and Asia
this is one of its
Japan
two big
and
faults.
Southeast Asia,
because
trying
that
to
is
set a game
it is
there.
literally, as most things are, it's just China and Japan.
Yeah, this is
Because
one of
those are the two big countries.
This is going to be one of the two big failings of this book. There's two of them.
Yeah, I think that you could actually do a very, very good like re-release of this book these days. If you added in like Korea and Southeast Asia as a whole and did more of like this look over into like the edges of India as well, of like this is East Asia in the world of darkness for this sort of group.
Yeah,
and
like
how
you
it works
cover
is going to be different
Bangladesh,
because it was
Manipur, Myanmar, Thailand.
basically I would go with from about Assam, and then from Assam to the east is what you'd cover. You could
To the
include
tip of the
chunks of
Malay
Indonesia,
Peninsula.
right? Like you can include chunks of Indonesia, but I'd say that Indonesia is worth almost its own book because the cultures and folklore there is wild because it's such a cultural melting pot. You get Chinese influence, you get Asiatic influences from like when I mean Asiatic influences, I mean you get like Indian influences, you get local cultural influences, you get stuff out of like the Polynesian culture stuff
Well,
there
not
as well,
necessarily
like
Polynesians, more like
well, you know what I
Melanesian.
mean, but
Yeah.
like Melanesians. Thank you. That's the term. I'm looking for that ethnic group that's sort of the one that was on like Taiwan and the Philippines. Because is that Melanesian?
No, Melanesians I think is. I'm trying to remember. There's also is it Afro-Asiatic?
Afro-Asiatic, somewhat.
Oh God, I'm trying to
But it's because
remember.
like, I mean,
There's
like
a
you've
lot
also
of
got like all
islander
these other
cultures.
yes,
There's
which is why I
there's a lot
say
of
you
fucking
basically
islands
need
there.
yeah, you basically need its own book to cover all of it because it's such a diverse place in terms of everything. Because you've got this again, as I said, even religiously, it's a mix. Like you've got there's still yes, it's mostly Muslim now, but there's still a lot of Hindus there.
Yes, there is. In fact, there's still Hindu temples on Bali and parts of Vietnam.
Yep. And then the Buddhist influence as well, which they don't.
Is very strong. Buddhism is still very strong in those regions.
Yep. And again, you could do a really, really interesting book if you cover like the East nowadays, now that there's a lot more scholarship and a lot more information that's available. And
But,
I would encourage people to try to do this.
That's
But
not here.
this isn't that.
This is them.
This is not that.
This is them getting
and
bootleg
let's-
copies of Ronin Warriors and running with it.
This is
Let's
we
go
have
with the opening, which is Asia is not without its stories of the beasts who walk as men. There are myths
Correct.
aplenty in the East about those who change, where the fox spirits keep their souls, or how tigers conducted their business when the world was young. And those myths are wrong.
Oh boy, here we go. The
I mean, they
snowy
basically said the
mountaintops
same
and
thing about
steaming
the
jungles
West.
of Asia.
And here, the shapeshifters have grown somewhat apart from their cousins in Europe, Africa, the Americas, and even Australia. And so the southern island, that's its own continent, and the other side of the planet that can only be traversed by water is somehow more connected than the other side of the world.
Well, reminder
All right.
of where those
Reminder.
peoples got settled around. Like, remember, Australia got settled pretty heavily by Europeans. And the wildlife got
Yeah, I was about to
absolutely
say-
ravaged by rabbits and cats.
Yeah, but it's making it sound like the
You don't-
bunyip were
And the Americas also were
Uh,
pretty heavily settled. Although I will
if
say
we're
it's a
saying
bit
that-
goofy. It is a
if
bit
we're-
goofy that
Yeah.
the shifters there don't have their own unique cultures more. They kind of do. That's where 3 of the tribes come from. But still.
But they're not as influential in the Garu Nation as they could have been or possibly should be, depending on your take on it.
By the way,
would
Angel
argue
also highlights one that you really forgot about, the Persian and Arabic influence because of the rise of Islam in the region.
yeah.
Very important. It is very important.
Missed that because while it's important, it's less.
No, it is
focused
significantly
on.
important because a lot of the writing scripts, like to give you an idea, the courtly language for a long time was Persian in a lot of India for a reason.
Well, that's because the Persian empires that were in there, namely the heirs of Timur, came
Oh no
down
no no! The
into.
Delhi Sultanate was actually founded by, if I remember right, I think it was like a Turkic chieftain who
Well,
went
yes,
rogue,
but the larger one and arguably more influential one was the Timurids, who conquered most of the
who
subcontinent.
were also Turkic. They were just influenced by.
Yeah,
A lot of these Turkic steppe peoples were, however, influenced by Persian for a reason. Because once they settled in Persia, guess what they would do? Settle, adopt some of the culture and language, use it.
But so unlike as I say, unlike the Quajian, who are different from the Cainite cousins, the shapeshifters here are exactly the same as the
For the
shapeshifters
most
elsewhere
part.
in the world. It's just how they act, how they treat the world. Because apparently, the Imperengium did not happen here.
That's one of the big things that did not happen here. And this is also why they're a lot more suspicious of the other versions of the Guru. Because it's
Because
kind
they're
of
essentially
damning what they did to the other
they're a bunch of
shifters.
country bumpkin savages.
They've been less particular about keeping their existence secret from local human populations because remember, the White Wolf's main experience is, wait a minute, Big Trouble in Little China was a documentary, right? A lot of that Oriental
partially.
mysticism.
And they're more and the Asians, they're more spiritual, more
Yeah.
connected with the world.
Well, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the depictions of Asia in the West is, well, like
Racist?
this at this time. Yeah, I wouldn't call it racist. I'd call it naive and uninformed.
Ignorant due to the
Like,
effects of New Age
Yeah.
garbage, where what'll happen is, okay, hear me out. What usually happens in New Age societies are they experience a very strong case of Jerusalem syndrome if they actually go to, say, India. They then do a shitload of LSD or peyote. It goes poorly, something in their brain breaks, and therefore they now know they are the Siddhama They now know that they are a bodhisattva on this earth out to help you. Like, that's the
Or they make a
type of
good
New
music,
Age stuff that you get.
or they go there and make a good music album.
or it's the Tibetan mysticism angle, like the
Which was an angle mainly used to try to get the U.S. armies to put boots on the ground in the event they went to war with China.
right.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Tibetan mysticism angle is like the theosophy stuff.
Kind of, yeah, but that
So
only
like this
spread
stuff
about
dates
because
way
of what
back.
happened. Well, a little bit.
This
There's
stuff
also
goes
like,
way back.
yeah, because like the 19th century also had some of it. It started in the 19th century. It got really strong in the early to mid 20th. But yeah, basically in the
Not
Oriental
NATO.
settings, a lot more
I do want to say this,
mysticism.
not New York, correct. It is like they looked at Mortal Kombat and thought it was accurate.
I
Which,
mean,
given that it is Werewolf, it's fine.
well, no, remember, Street Fighters are canonically real. So, I mean, I'm surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if White Wolf was in a healthier shape. They also got the rights to Mortal Kombat. So one of the Gehenna scenarios is actually just Shao Kahn invading from Outworld.
A Mortal Kombat RPG would be amazing.
Actually, hear me out. A Gehenna scenario, an end time scenario in the world of darkness for fucking Shao Kahn and his Outworlder armies invade because the Street Fighter campaign that you were a part of, you failed to defeat Shang Tsung, thus being the 10th loser in the Mortal Kombat games, meaning that the invasion begins. And that was what the apocalypse scenario from the Book of Nod was.
But let's go on to further about their history. And as most of the times,
I
White
think
Wolf,
I think it's
they
better to
do
look into
this.
like what do they say
They,
about the Henki Yokai?
Well, what is
That
a Henge
they
Yokai
are
and how to use this book?
right. They basically the basics of this is that while they're territorial, they follow a very Chinese structure of like classical era China, where there's a court and there is this interaction between the various breeds
You say
that
that
there
like
like
really
there's the
isn't
Confucian
elsewhere.
angle. You think it's Chinese. I'm reading how they're handling this. This is much closer to the interpretation of Neo-Confucianism as through the lens of Japan. Because of fucking course it is. Because Gaia is in the role of the Empress in their take. And then there's elements of from China, like there's elements of wuxia, like the 10,000 Immortals, which is a bit of a nod to, because by that point we found out about the terracotta army of Qin Shi Huangdi. So that's a little bit of that.
Right.
And it's also 10,000 is like a very strong geometrical number in East Asian philosophy. Same with the changing courts, but
the whole dragon princes,
the
the
Middle
Kingdom
Kingdom is very Chinese, but the way it's handled is
well, that's
Right.
the name for China. That is China.
Yes.
There's the name for China.
Yes, that's the point. It's very China influenced. The other bit about it is that there's a difference between how they view the apocalypse. The
They view
idea
it
being
as a cycle.
basically the Kali Yuga a little bit, like it's coming. The end is going to come, and then we're going to enter a new cycle.
which is an interesting
Which,
take. It makes sense from a Buddhist point of view with samsara, the wheel of suffering.
I would honestly say no, they're all worm tainted. Like, you're allowing Gaia to be destroyed.
Yes and no, because there is the concept of creative destruction where the idea is, and this actually is a philosophy you kind of see, funnily enough, in later Dragon Ball stuff. Like, that's why there's a god of destruction, the idea being that as the wheel turns, you have to destroy to create sometimes. In fact, that actually, you can even see that in astronomy.
But no, that...
Well, no, you can
that
even
is
see
the
that in
point of the
astronomy,
wild.
because when stars go and explode, that's how you get new minerals.
Yes, but that was the worm's purpose. The wild is supposed to create the weaver, make sense of it all, and then the worm destroys it.
Yes.
They're all the worm's out of whack, though.
No, they're all out of whack. That's, I think, the big damning thing, is I think all three of them are out of whack.
Yeah.
You could also kind of interpret it more as the concept of how Kryn, or Dragonlance as a setting, works, where if one gets too powerful, that's the problem.
Though, honestly, this could explain a lot of what's happening in China's environmental problems.
Also, there's always the assumption that the take that the guru have could always be wrong. You don't know. Same with mage. Whenever people try to use mage to lens through everything, yeah, that doesn't work, because by this logic, vampires would explode into giblets if they punch a truck in half.
But they got that Cain blood in them.
That's literally the excuse. They have actually had to do, like, fun fact, before we understood the concept of heliocentrism, we had to make, like, large volumes explaining the epicycle movements of the planets. That's kind of my thinking with how that's kind of how they handled it with vampires. When mages had to explain this, they had to kind of come up with excuses like, well, you see, what happens is they're the platonic ideal of a vampire. People see them and go vampire. Which, no, vampires weren't necessarily known for punching trucks in half. They weren't.
Well, the other thing is also they're supernatural. Okay, this is
what actually happened was none of these
can
splats
change reality.
What actually happened was none of these splats were originally supposed to be synchronized, but then they realized, wait a minute, these systems complement each other pretty well. Let's integrate them. And then they did not understand what the disaster they just did was.
And then that's how we got Samuel hate.
From the very get-go, there was the idea that they'd use the same system for everything and have different supernaturals in the world of darkness.
The problem is the cosmologies don't work when the rubber hits
the
road.
The cosmologies are all fucked, and they never really synchronized them up. And I think that is both good and bad, because they weren't really interested in doing that at the time. Because why would they?
That'd be a disaster. That'd be a painful rewrite. Holy shit.
Exactly.
God, imagine if you're a vampire and you have to deal with the paradox mechanic. Ugh.
Right.
Or you're a mage and your arete has to be handled by feeding off of magic. Ugh.
Ooh. But
remember, they're making this work as things go on. It's not written out from the start and then they release with it. They were developing their mythos and their cosmos as time went on.
But as we're going on, they do bring word caution, which is essentially this: if you're using the Hengyokai, stick them in Asia. Don't try to have a Kitsune in every one of your parties.
That's not what anyone who got their hands on this book chose to do. In fact,
I
actually,
think
fun
a lot
fact.
of what
Fun fact. Again, like I said, the only reviews that I've seen, not long form reviews tend to be more nuanced, but like the short reviews you see for this splat, they're from the weirdos who really like foxes a lot. And don't get me wrong, foxes are cute, but like they scream, and it's a weird scream, and the way they sound is weird, and their pee stinks horribly, like disgustingly. Fox people are weird. It's the same as ferret people. Ferret people are weird.
But let's move on. We're gonna go past the glossary.
I mean, some
See
of it might
a
be useful-ish, but basically, it's interesting to see they're trying to go with the Kali Yuga thing. But the problem is the way they kind of write this is very more Greek. This is strongly more Greek Age of Descent, like the fall of everything. Which, hey, fair
well,
enough. In
yes.
India, the same thing works because technically we're in the fourth age where things are kind of in Shitsville, but not quite.
Right. Again, they go in through all that. There's
Oh, hey, Bakemona means
Age of
Fomori, so
Testing.
they're like a
Yeah.
ghost thing.
Yes, so they have their own term for Fomori. They have their own term for the beast, what they consider to call their society, which is the beast courts. They have a nice fancy special name for Gaia, the Emerald Mother.
Which I actually think I know what this comes from. This is them not knowing. This is them basing it on like there's a spiritual earth goddess in Chinese mythology called like Wu Leimu or something like that.
Yes.
The name's wrong. I said the name wrong. I know it, but it translates roughly into Earth Mother.
Right.
But going on to
They
chapter
call
1, we got
Japanese
the
Quasian brats.
I do like that.
Yeah.
The of course this is partially that they didn't really White Wolf didn't really fully understand like the slang terms or like anything like that when they wrote half of this shit. But I do love this. Their term for Westerners is the sunset people because we're all fucking dour, going like the sun's gonna go down and never rise again. Like, bitch, come the fuck on.
I actually really like that.
Yeah, I like that.
They spelled. Look
So-
at that. They fucked up spelling Susanoo. Susanoo. Oh, what's this?
Yes. Susano, oh whoa, what is this?
Ah. Ah. Sorry, I can't stop laughing.
And then we have our first depiction of is that Japanese?
I think
archery?
it's supposed to be a lung.
Yomi? No.
No.
I have no
But-
clue, but it's just archery, like a monk
But going
practicing
on,
archery.
so their whole thing is the history of ages and the wheel of ages.
Hey, not Nito.
So-
Don't be kind. It's not. White Wolf actually says don't make a fox girl and everything. You can blame the player base, the horrible, horrible player base.
And I do love this though. That they make an actual point of this. Henki yokai have to deal with the fact that language becomes a much bigger barrier than you think.
True, because even in China, there's 54 acknowledged languages. 54.
Right.
That's not including the other ones that the PRC refuses to acknowledge, either because of historical grievances with those people when they tried to fight against the communists, or if they're just so small that there's no point in recognizing it. So, yeah, even if you're just taking place in China, you're not going to necessarily understand a Yue speaker, and you're not necessarily going to understand someone who speaks Mongolian, or, well, I mean, you're not really probably going to find a lot of Manchu speakers left, or Hakka, or Miao.
And they even make a point that like even within like the breed, it's still different. Like a Western crow shifter, a Korax, is going to find it difficult to communicate even as a crow with an Eastern Tengu.
Which makes sense because the different species of bird as well.
Right. And I think that this is actually something that should be done more with animal shifters. But it just sort of makes this a little bit like they try to pull away from this monoculture and then they go right back to it. It's a little weird.
So they all have different languages, so it's going to be very difficult to communicate, but they all believe this specific cosmology.
Right.
Well, I mean, you could think of it like the Abrahamics. We kind of believe in the same similar cosmology.
Dude, we've
There
fought
is a sort of
we've literally killed people just because of, like, to give you an idea. We want to know what one of the dumbest arguments that I've ever seen in terms of religious debate is? When the priest says his magical words to turn the grape juice and the bread into the blood and
not
flesh.
transubstantiation. Let's not get into transubstantiation.
People were killed literally because they said that's not how that works.
Again, let's not and go over to the next section of this box because I think the other bit of it is actually very interesting.
Especially since you're dealing in China.
The difference, yeah, the difference I meant is like a shared cultural understanding. Like when they reference something,
but
like referencing an angel, we know what an angel is.
Personally, I think what an interesting idea would have been is what you could have had is you don't need to have all 101 schools of thought that historically were founded in China, but maybe a couple of interesting philosophies, although admittedly this is like sparse understanding, so this is already pretty good by what resources they had. But there's a bunch of other philosophies that were very popular during the It's before they reunited under the Qin dynasty, but Zhao? Was it Zhao? Yeah, I think Zhao dynasty. There's like 101 different schools of thought you could kind of borrow from that. I think that would have been neat. Or you could have done it in the style of, here's what the Middle Kingdom's point of view is. Here's what the Rajasthans think of what it is. This is what the Yamato think it is. Like.
Oh yeah, that would have worked. But
the one thing that I do like here is that they do talk about how they actually overcome the language barrier, which is that they use a couple of gifts. Mindspeak and Waking Dream of Unity. This mental speech means that they're communicating more through ideas, images, and abstract thought rather than actual language.
See, the problem is they're not bee shifters, so they can't just dance their way into speaking.
Right. So I think that that's actually very interesting. And the other bit I like is that their attitude towards the Westerners, because of their weird cultural idiosyncrasies and their isolation over the last millennia compared to what we call normally the old world, Middle East, Europe, Northern Africa, etc., because that had the Mediterranean as this big superhighway, effectively, is that they just don't really want to deal with the Westerners.
Especially since they're all a bunch of doomers, which is really funny given how environmentalist issues have become. Oh, by the way, hey there, Gallard Group. Would you use the same arguments in regards to the Yucatana, Croatan, and Wendigo? I think they should.
Yes.
I really think they should.
I would 100%.
Because, well...
I'd also argue the Red Talons should have a dialect based on where they are.
Yeah, how many languages are... I'm going to look it up right now.
Native languages are a fascinating topic.
There are at least 230
with a lot of study.
There are at least 230 still extant, and I believe it was hypothesized there were at least 700 before the colonization began.
Yes, at least 700 distinctive languages, and at least 5 major families?
No, more like 10.
Jeez, I thought it was more like 5.
There's Algonquin, there's the one in the Mississippi Valley region, there is Eskimo Aleuts, which also actually had they actually had Eskimo Aleuts in the Great Basin region as well. I think the Apache are related to them distantly.
I'm looking here.
California had 2.
You've got a whole bunch of these in Mexico with hundreds of thousands of speakers.
Yes.
Yes, there's still a lot of extant languages. In North America, a lot of it is
Mixtec. I think still has it. Mayan languages.
Cheyenne Sioux is still a living language
Cheyenne Sioux,
as
Cree
well.
is still around. Navajo is still used. Some Cherokee words I think are still around. I don't know if Cherokee is still extant. I think it is, but it's not commonly spoken anymore.
It's extant, but I wouldn't say it's like spoken. I mean, a lot of these languages, it's like Latin, right? Or like Church Latin. They're spoken and they're understood, but they're not necessarily like day-to-day languages.
But yeah, there's a
Yeah.
lot, and if I had to do the 3 Pure Lander tribes from the New World, yeah, even in wolf form, you would not be able to comprehend or speak to them. I'd even argue since red talons are all lupus only, except in Werewolf 5th edition, they probably would have an accent and probably struggle to understand human idioms. So you'd have to speak to them in the wolf tongue.
Yeah, I think that would actually be the hardest thing for a red talon trying to deal with humans would be the understanding of idioms and how language itself is.
What is this cat got your tongue? A Basset does
Yeah,
not
cat
have
got
my
your
tongue.
what do you mean? Like that's
What do you mean?
very
Why don't you
literal is
just
probably
get
what
it
you're
back
talking about.
from it? You're way bigger than that cat.
This means that they are probably the masters of like the stupid telephone joke, though.
They would
You know,
be.
is your
But do you realize
refrigerator
this could
running?
unfortunately get to be an entire tribe of Dracs?
Wait, so does that mean you just like they just start laughing for no reason, and they're played as the butt
I
of the
do,
joke?
I mean, maybe the
I do kind of
Ragabash.
like that.
Actually, playing a Ragabash Red Talon like Drax the Destroyer would probably be pretty good.
I do kind of
Yeah.
like that. Not gonna lie, I think that could be really fun.
Or at the very
But
least, that's a pretty fun NPC character.
but we have here the first age, the age of the dawning, when there was no creation, everything was within Gaia.
Right.
It was
I love.
perfection.
Again, they go right into the cyclic nature that they see the world, which I think is a great way of defining it, different than how you'd see with Werewolf the Apocalypse, which is it's time for the end of everything,
So
motherfuckers. Are you ready to die?
this is the Brahmic ages, but the problem is from the point of view of people who are more Abrahamic, and they still kind of don't understand the Brahmic ages.
Right. That's why I think it's actually quite good.
Because there has to be a beginning.
Right. They
There
don't
can't
quite
be
understand
nothing.
it. And that's why I think it's kind of good, because it's fun.
Then we have the age of 10,000 things, which is when as God, split, heaven and earth and made all living things.
It's funny that despite their efforts, they still have to include the Book of Genesis in this creation myth.
Yes, they do. Because they have to tie it into the fucking rest of the cosmology.
Oh,
And
I
it's so
thought
good.
it was
It's
just
just
ignorance.
I would say no, it's just unconscious bias. It's like, well, if there's nothingness, then the next thing there has to be creation, and creation would mean everything gets made.
Reminder, these are the
It could be
people that
unconscious
think
bias,
the moment you
but
start living in Africa, you change irrevocably. Soul, mind, and even monster form and all.
no, the changes of the Liban, we have to cover Kindred of the Ebony Kingdoms at some point. It's basically adaptation and just changes of time by the blood.
You say that, but it's still really funny.
It's still really funny, yeah. But it's definitely more like, oh, you can tell that these clans were there and that they changed over time. They evolved from what a common ancestor was at some point. In any case,
Oh, I have a
the
fun idea
cycle.
for a possible vampire KT panic scenario. Okay, hear me out. Because a lot of them have finally gone over to the new world, that's the blood is changing to suit the new world.
Oh no!
Why not?
This place changes you. I used to be Ventru.
Actually,
Now I'm Gangrel.
if you did like a thin blood alchemy, if you did thin blood like that, that could have been interesting.
Well,
But let's
no,
see.
because the thing about the thin blood is it was
Well,
a
you know what
global
I mean.
phenomenon.
Like you did
Yeah.
a thing where new embraces turn into something new. You could have done that for 5th edition. I think that would have been interesting.
So
Mind you, there's been a lot less time. But anyway,
so then in the Second Age, then the Yama Kings and the Ministers of Heaven appeared.
Which, if you're wondering,
the Yama
The
Yeah.
Yama Kings are more in the kindreds of the East thing. Basically, they're a big thing, and that's why your soul comes screaming
Hey,
out of hell to possess a body.
hey,
Oh,
remember
so it's demon.
Wraith and the Death Lords and all that? Yeah, that's related to that.
Oh, these are the Asian Death Lords.
Yeah, basically, the
Yes.
equation are what happens if a wraith gets yoked out of hell. I'm not even kidding.
And then the defenders of the world were formed. The wild spat out its creations, the Hisen, serve its own inscrutable purposes. And then we come to the Age of Legends, where war happened. Great and terrible and awesome war.
Yeah, there was no more. There was more killing in this age than any other age.
Basically,
We were many in those
we
days.
get some fun art. I'm not even sure what sort of shifter this one guy is.
And as I say, and what was the lesson of this age? That in the grim darkness of the Third Age, there's only war? No! Acceptance and cooperation. We should not grow too arrogant in
It
our
was
duties
about
to the Emerald Mother, that we would overlook our own limitations or presume ourselves the sole defenders of her lands.
So what happened in
basically
East
the
Asia?
wars. The
What
War of Rage is different in the East than it
Yeah.
was in the West. It was more of a conflict between different philosophies over what we should do, rather than like a fucking racial cleansing holy war. Which I don't quite get, honestly.
I don't understand either. I'm trying to put my head around this. Like, are we going with the here's the weird thing. If you actually think about how White Wolf works when it comes to cosmology, the continents, I think, are supernatural entities, because once you cross those fault lines and boundaries, or those geographic measures, you start thinking differently. What stopped the Karoo here from joining their brothers and just cleansing?
Like, is it a societal
Mountains.
thing? But then why didn't it also happen elsewhere? Like, it's
Yeah, why?
it's one of
Okay,
those just like,
here's
hold
another
on,
one.
hold on.
Hold on. Let's say somehow this took place very far back, like Pangea or the Ordovician era.
Not that era. No, not at all.
That's not that era. The Impergium
I know.
is
I'm just saying. Let's say instead, like that part was somehow then split off. I'm trying to make sense of this cosmology, and I
It would
don't know.
only make sense. Okay, hear me out. It would only. Would be how I would have interpreted this, or how I would have handled it. In most other respects, the Guru frickin' won, except in East Asia, where the other shifters managed to actually beat the living piss out of the ones who tried to kill them off. And the ones that were not for this idea at all were the only survivors, and they had to play ball.
That could fit.
That could fit, and I think that's sort of the vibe they want to go with, but it doesn't kind of
They
come
didn't
off
write
right.
it that way. They didn't write it that way.
But-
I never attribute what a writer doesn't do, because that's you fixing their problems for them.
Then we have the Fourth Age. So after Sauron was
The Fourth
defeated,
Age actually kind of sucks.
I mean, there's a reason J.R.R. Tolkien never bothered to write more than 11 pages of it.
Yes, because as we know, this is when human history was born.
What happened? No, here's what happened. He wrote 11 pages, looked at it, and said, "Huh, this is just political drama. This is shit," and he threw it away.
Not my thing.
He threw it away. He basically
this
wrote
is
an outline.
Little did he know that 70 years later there'd be a massive franchise about fantasy political intrigue.
Right,
Also-
and this is the actual time of the War of Rage, which they call the War of Shame, which is when they got tricked around a bit, and then they realized, oh, this sucks, and they stopped doing it.
It is shameful to remember, but we too had such a war.
And it was in the last days that they saw the children of the bear, the Akuma. So all the bear shifters got killed.
It's like how all of the boar shifters got killed. By the way, they're still around in the form of the skull pigs, and I only know that because someone asked me, how would I make an Ethan Ralph-like shifter? And the only way I could think of it is if a skull pig possessed a person. I'm
That makes
alive
sense.
again?
Then-
God damn it! I'm alive again! No!
Then we have the Age of Shadows, which is when the Westerners arrived.
It is the current age.
Basically, they think they're in the Kali Yuga. Well,
We see white people.
Age of Sorrow. Age of Sorrow, actually. That's the Kali Yuga.
Yeah. It will be a time of such misery and suffering that many people will believe the world is ending, and that there will be no more ages left. But we know better. Because reasons.
They know better because
We-
in Indian karmic cycles and in many places where Buddhism is a concept, there is not necessarily an end. It's what you call cyclical, and even escaping the end, even escaping that samsaric circle of suffering, there's still more to do. That is the point of view they're kind of going with, and they're going with the Brahmic ages. And Kali Yuga is supposed to be like the absolute worst age where people die at like the age of 1. Like it's horrible. It's supposed to be horrible. You're supposed to like scream and suffer in agony, and then Brahma comes. I think it's either Brahma comes or Brahma renews, and it goes right back to the beautiful golden age again.
Yep. And then finally we go into the lands.
Oh, there's also ages yet to come, like the 12th age.
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wait, no, they accidentally created Revelation again. No, you were so close to not fucking this up. Matter and spirit will all be made one. The true Gaia realm. Oh no, they fucked it up. No, stop putting your Abrahamic takes, man.
The 144,000 werewolves, the elect.
Oh no, they're Jovos. Quick, give them blood transfusions to get them kicked out of their cult.
But yeah, they go and they talk about the lands that they're in, which is that basically Upper Mongolia to the Philippines, fringes of India, all of that is what they kind of consider the Middle Kingdom.
So
basically, take a Chinese nationalist map of the world, and it's probably close.
Yeah.
As they say, China, what an old, divine old country this is, and how much things it holds. Mountains in north-south, rivers, plateaus, limestone pinnacles, labyrinth caves, vast deserts, and cities. So many cities crammed into 20% of the land.
I wonder how this book would change because of Three Gorges.
Well, yes, there are even very few Naga in the Yellow River. Not anymore.
If you believe that.
Not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
So long, and thanks for all the fish.
Of splendid history. And they're like, and the humans here constantly do the most fascinating things. You'd think this would be paradise. Maybe once, but not anymore.
And what's funny is they're saying, "Oh, we just keep to the wilderness in China."
What wilderness?
Little did they know that the next premier of China, Jiang Zemin, would have a program in which he would develop those areas.
I love the empty Western cities. I'm just envisioning. Okay, hear me out. Your Sentai group. You have your Sentai group. The Tangu wakes up. He goes, "What the fuck?" And they see like really rapid construction being built in the desert they've been sleeping in. Where did this come from? It got built so fast. What? And then like one of the buildings is already starting to lean. What are they doing?
Why is nobody living here?
What are the humans doing? I don't understand.
Then Korea. Well, the bears used to live here.
And now they don't.
Now the Khan live here, and no discussion about how the impact of North and South Korea would affect those relationships, because I would love to see what the beastly courts look like under Juche.
You know what I would have probably done instead for Korea? Okay, so one of the biggest national symbols of Korea is the three-legged crow. I would have made this Tengu like central.
They actually make the mention that the crows are the most common shifter here.
Okay, good. I would have been a bit upset otherwise.
The pine forest courts here are largely Tengu, with a few hominid tiger shifters and the occasional newcomer. It's not a very martial court, and usually there's a lot of Kweijin, which, considering South Korea and North Korea, like Yeah, no
No.
shit. The Kindred of the East are fucking feasting there.
Yeah, there's a lot of kindred of the East there. But here's my
Because
rebuttal.
it's both a bunch of fucking suffering forever. And
And then
hey, perfect.
I still have my problems with it though, because
Oh, yeah,
there's a reason Korea was able to kind of keep independence until 1905. They were capable
one
of
thing I'd
fighting,
say,
pretty darn good at it too.
I think in Wraith the demilitarized zone is essentially just a portal or a tear open to oblivion.
I would argue that the DMZ is probably just like, don't go there, not because like, oh, it's a supernatural threat, but it's like, look, there's landmines. Do you know what happens to a werewolf who steps on a landmine? Do you know how fun it is to actually like regrow a leg? It isn't. Don't.
I'm just envisioning in the Jade Kingdoms of the underworld. You know that giant radio tower hotel in Pyongyang? I'm envisioning that as like a
Yeah.
gigantic, horrific edifice of like failed dreams and dead workers.
It's
Or
probably
it's the SCP thing where they put some sort of
there's
device that
there's
makes people
Quaijin in the
suggestible.
walls.
Well, no, that makes people suggestible to authoritarian influences.
By the way, Zen Gunman
In
actually
any
comments
case.
on the Kuei-jin. It's based on a Buddhist Chinese religious play called The Resurrection Story. It was about a monk who freed his mother from hell. And there's actually several movie adaptations, which that doesn't surprise me. It actually makes a lot of sense because Kuei-jin are very similar to Jiangxi as a concept. The only difference is the soul coming out of the hells, the Naraka, so to speak.
Then
But
we
anyway,
have
Japan.
Japan. The Weaver has come to the island, because of course it has. And
well,
then
yeah, because
apparently,
Japan's one of the most in your urbanized areas on the planet, like flat out. The Tokyo metropolitan area is geographically the largest urbanized center on the planet.
and then of
Most
course
densely
we
populated in the
have
world.
the fact that the greatest or the most dangerous areas in the Mirror Lands, the Spirit World, is Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
It still bleeds.
Not Tokyo. Not Tokyo because of the firebombing.
Also, how innocuous the Westerners are about their genocidal toys. Do you want to know why? I always hate when people do this. Would the option of storming the islands and killing orders of magnitude more Japanese people, and U.S. soldiers,
Oh yeah,
and Soviet soldiers,
arguably the nukes were the quicker solution.
not just quicker.
At the same
There's
time,
a lot
though,
of
at the same time,
at the
though,
same time,
there is a reason why in Wraith it caused an apocalyptic event because so many people died at one single moment.
Oh no, if you're wondering what happened, so Charon has a dark side, and his dark side basically rose from the ashes of that, like Godzilla.
yeah.
Speaking of which,
No, literally, the movie. Imagine, okay,
Yeah.
the original movie Godzilla, but Stygia is Tokyo, and Godzilla is a giant manifestation of all of Charon's sins. That is what happened.
But then there are
In
Tangu
any
aplenty in
case,
the cities. The Samito, Skull Coast Warriors, and the Kitsune play their games with Japanese people. Oh, so they're behind Gotcha.
yes.
Probably.
And let's see, we have the Himalayas, which is a traditional territory because of how majestic those mountains are.
They basically talk about
Ignore all the dead bodies.
right. They kind of go like this.
Because
They're fighting for like the last steps up in the Himalayas and that sort of thing, which is kind of wild. The idea of like, all right, it's a heavy metal album set before Mount Everest. Like that's how you end your chronicle. Is just like a big slap fight at the slopes of Mount Everest, like trying to stop them from bringing the worm into the world there or whatever.
I'm envisioning.
There you go.
I'm also envisioning an interesting wraith thing you can do because of all the people who die trying to climb up there.
It's its own Shadowland.
Like it's its own small little Shadowland. Like I'm envisioning more like Western mystic take, you know, the New Age take on Buddhism, where it's become almost like a monastery for those souls who died on the climb up there. And also the kind of like dark need for more people to die so they can be processed and make a better Shadowland, because it's really sparse.
Then the Southeast Asia, which is just Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand, Laos.
I was just gonna say, yeah. Also, I forgot nukes are worm technology. I forgot. You're right. Yep.
And yes, some things survived the bombing runs of Vietnam. And I would think, yeah, Cambodia is it's not a good place
Let's not think
for the
about the shadow in
population dead.
Cambodia.
I don't want to think about that. Yeah.
Indonesia, Malaysia, and the
No,
Philippines.
I mean, you mean the shadow that is Cambodia? Because
beyond these
Don't,
Yeah.
islands or
don't forget all
territory,
of the
there's a few
Banes
ports we
and mutated Formoria that are going to crawl out of the Agent Orange campaigns.
oh yeah.
Yeah, but continuing on,
And then
you
yeah,
get
I
Indonesia,
like
Malaysia,
the fact
Philippines.
that it's one small paragraph for Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines.
I mean, they're kind of
You know,
important,
like
I
some of the
guess.
most basically we don't know shit about them. Said anything here if you want to know that.
Two paragraphs for India in which they basically say it's not really part of it.
They're technically not part of the Middle Kingdom as we reckon it, but we go there. We have a few courts there. We have allies among the snake shifters who call it our home. Yeah. It's a fucking awful place.
Well, you see, coming up with ideas for this, I mean, there's no animes that take place there, so like, what can I do? I don't understand.
And they haven't
mean,
seen
yeah.
Bollywood yet.
Oh no. Okay, I've been envisioning the alternate timeline where they saw Indian Terminator, where they assemble into a ball, and that's what the iteration X is working on.
Listen,
in
before we
India.
before we destroy Ravnos, the Technocracy is going to do a dance segment.
I kind of love the idea that you just take Bollywood, like some of the goofiest Bollywood movies, and then just kind of apply them to like mages or vampires or werewolves as needed, or changelings as needed.
And let's see. Then next is Shen, which are the different monsters. So we got the Quajin, which we can work with them if we need to, but they vie for the same areas of power. So we're very territorial.
Basically, they needed to come up
Then
with an excuse for why they're opposed to their own vampires, but I don't think they could have. I don't think they really came up with a good one. Because in more
we have the
traditional
Heeson.
cosmology, vampires are somewhat worm-touched because they're an aberration of life. That's why werewolves don't like them and don't trust them.
Then we have the Heeson, which are the changelings.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
They teach them respectfully, but they're like, whatever.
They're weird. Just
they're
let them
weird.
do their thing.
We don't really care too much about them.
Oh,
then I like this.
There is a little bit more info
Namebreakers.
actually for India from Gallard Group. India is Guru Nation land only because Silverfang House is there. House Blood Red Crest, and you know how much the SFs love anyone who doesn't look and sound like them. Thanks for the info. I don't necessarily.
Yeah.
I don't disagree. It's just.
Oh, HCN? I'm going to screw that up. I'm never going to be able to pronounce it.
Yeah. But then next is the Namebreakers. And I like this for how they explain mages. So a man stole the secret of naming in the Second Age by banging a mistress of rivers and storms. He then took it. Then, the Emerald Weaver was outraged at this. And the Emerald Mother tried to stop him. But at this point, he had already talked to a courtesan in his sleep. And so they have true magic, which is a stolen art to change the names which the mother gave to all things.
And they mentioned the ley line stuff where they're trying to steal that for themselves, which is a real fucking problem for these guys.
Then
I can take or leave this take.
Spirits of the Wandering Dead are best left avoided.
And
then we have obviously the Sunset People.
So yeah, they're not one mind. They're of the kin, but not of the same thinking. Mainly because the people in the West killed all their other shifters, and basically these guys see them as doomers.
Let's not go to the West. Tis a silly place.
It's a silly place, and all they seem to care about is it's all shit and we're all gonna die. Very, very lame and pathetic.
Also, they do mention that there's a large section of glasswalkers in Hong Kong, which makes sense. It fits.
Oh, yeah.
Along with Bonars.
As well as Bonars. Oh. What's that? What was that city? The Kulon City. The Bonars must.
City. Yeah.
Bonars fighting Banes in Kulon City.
Kowloon Walled City, Bonar. Okay, I could vibe with that. Like you do a Werewolf Chronicle in the Kowloon Walled City. Yeah, that's a hell of a vibe. I kind of really like that direction.
But then they also bring up the other possible mythic beasts, such as the Taoist Immortals. We'll get to that at a later date. But then we have the Beast Courts. So Beast Courts often are mixes of the different groups, except for the Kumo. The Kumo rejected the Gaian ideal in favor of serving the Great Centipede.
Basically, they
Many
needed their own equivalent of the Black Spiral Dancers, and because of the Japanese legends of spider people that that mimic and lure people to their deaths, guess which one's got the option?
then we so the way
More
the court
like
is organized.
Kowloon City, am I right? Fishy boy.
So the ranks within the court, you obviously have your regent, highest ranking Karen Elder, keeper of laws, arbiter of disputes, and who decrees the court's responsibilities. Then you have the general or the war master. The seer is much like the master of right. The historian, obviously the one who keeps the stories. And then you have your Sentai, which is your packs.
This is where you can go full Power Rangers, and that's that's one of the vibes you can definitely go with this book.
And then you have the
or
other
alternatively Voltron,
courtiers.
since they did have animal robots.
Then you have your courtiers. Basically, as everybody else.
By the way, I'm looking at the art of the shifter here going to this cairn. I disagree with the take because there is a concept that I would have done instead. Have you ever heard of a Buddhist stupa?
I think.
They are
Yeah,
small
they
shrines
probably
that you could either have fragments of the Buddha or fragments of a very particularly holy monk. And I would have had that be this is where they put the ashes of their deceased. Like it's a funerary stupa / gravesite. Alternatively, you could take it like Tibetan wind burials, where they're left out in the sky.
But then we have the mandates, which is like the litany, but they're held in accord by all of the changing races at once. And in many cases, they're the only thing that holds the
Basically
court
a-
together.
basically a universal litany for all the shifters, which interesting.
Oh, like commandments.
Well, mandates are also they're universal. Let's be fair.
Yeah, that's
The
the point I was
basic
getting
idea
at.
is the universal. Like, all right, first one, shirk not the tasks that have been given to you. Fair enough.
I
That
do
is one
like,
of
though,
the
for each one of them, they
expectations.
say there's the expectation and then there's the reality.
Well, no, that,
Which is
but
that
I was just gonna say the other reason the tasks work is if you take the Confucian point of view, where the laborer provides work for their lord, but in exchange, there's always this exchange that they're supposed to do. And if I ran Henge Yokai, I would factor in that Confucian angle because there's the duty, but also the responsibility given back. It's something you have to think of if you're basing this on the Middle Kingdom. Sorry about that.
Yep.
What is the reality?
Then let's. The reality, is that there are Henge Yokai who break the pattern. Obviously, if someone is frail of body, might be more suited to a courtier's life than being a combat werewolf.
Oh god, they have
So,
functionalism. This is like the Transformers functionalism point of view, where what you are is what you're expected to do.
well, that is the kind of thing with werewolf. The werewolves are Gaia's warriors. They're not the
right.
record keepers.
And again, guard the wheel that it may turn. The one that's interesting is presume not to instruct your cousin in his task.
No backseating.
Basically, don't ignore your own work to criticize your fellows.
And of course, the
A
reality
warrior
is
should not tell the sorcerer to how he should do his job. The sorcerer, the merchant shouldn't be going on about how the sorcerer's battle plans are shit, etc., etc.
But the reality is that's not how that works at all. There's always politics involved, and this always does happen.
Always gossip.
Honor your territory in all things. Very calm, very, very traditional.
Let mercy guide you in our august mother's court. This is to
Basically,
prevent bloodshed.
this is possibly what kept them from killing each other all the time. That, look, we're all shifters of Gaia.
We are all out
So
to
we
guard
can
the
get
wheel
together.
and to serve the Emerald Mother.
Right.
And then we have to honor your ancestors and your elders. Basic Confucianism.
And I want to note this. The best bit about this is the Yokai consider other Shen, particularly Westerners, to be outside of this. Same thing with Kuei-jin, Western vampires, Husuin, or however the fuck you pronounce that.
Husien.
Husien.
Zen Gunman actually gave me a pronunciation guide for that. Husien.
Okay. But you completely understand.
Werewolves are Gaia's silliest soldiers. That's why they killed everyone who ever helped them. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Nito. Oh,
Yeah.
actually,
Honor
no,
the
you
pact-
are, because the rat shifters are even crazier.
Honor the
I'm not
pacts
even
of the
kidding.
spirit
They're nuttier.
world. War not upon human nor beast.
Which
Unfortunately,
is
this mandate was composed long before the Chinese had
Chinese
gunpowder.
had gunpowder when humanity was not really a threat. Fair
This
enough.
does not forbid violence; it forbids active campaigns of genocide.
Basically, the Impergium was stupid. Why did we do that?
This has failed at least once, as the Haken have interpreted it so strictly that in maintaining a peaceful coexistence with the Japanese humans, they have lost contact with the fullness of their wolf natures. I have a feeling the wolf population in Japan is quite low.
It was rendered extinct, you morons.
Oh,
The Japanese wolf is extinct. I don't even think they're still found on Hokkaido anymore.
Yes, that's the
There's a
point
reason that they
there.
became spiritual animals of legend, the Okami, because they were all fucking killed. Because, you know, wolves are predators.
They wiped them out that early?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, we're talking
It's an
late
island,
Jomon
man.
culture, man.
Oh,
It's an island. Like, it's a mountainous island. Like,
we
wolves
lost that. We lost the giant eagles in New Zealand.
I'm still mad
Come
about
on.
that one.
I am apt. Yeah.
Also killing off all the horses in North America, the place where they actually came from. How freaking stupid are you guys, man? Man, we apes are stupid.
Let no one or nothing violate the sacred places.
which is, again, right from Werewolf. Like, a lot of these are basically the litany with a few modifications.
I did notice the one thing, though, not mating with others of your kind.
They didn't want to bring
That
it
is
up.
not in here.
Oh, I know. Okay, so do you think it was because they didn't want people to think about that when they were reading this, or is it?
No, I've read ahead. No.
Okay, so what they instead? Okay, they handled their métis differently then.
So, the tapestry. This is a land of dragons, and yeah, the dragons basically are, guessing, in charge in a way. They are behind the wall. This is the name for the gauntlet. And it is thinning along the dragon lines and the dragon nests.
By the way, the reason they're doing the dragon is I like that they actually remembered and understood that dragons in Eastern philosophy are a very different creature from the traditional Western tales.
You mean they're not greedy creatures that just devour things and kidnap young women?
No, they're actually usually quite intelligent. They also sometimes originally were fish. Not kidding. There's the concept, and this is actually why the gag of Magikarp turning into Gyarados is a thing. The fish who could brave its way up the waterfall, the carp that can do so.
I see.
It's called the Dragon's Gate. Also not Nito. Incest is incest. Oh man. Don't worry, we'll get into the embarrassing stuff later. There's quite a bit of it, but so far this book it still has me.
Yeah, it's the same thing as accessing the Umbra. There is, though, the impact of the Yang realms and the Yin realms. Life and energy fill Yang, while Yin are places of death and darkness.
Basically,
if I remember correctly, isn't Yin the white color?
Yin is black traditionally, if I remember right.
I thought white was a symbol for
you might
death.
Actually, no, you're right. Yin is white, Yang is black. You're right. Whoops. Because white is the
I
aspect of death.
do
You're correct.
like that there's stork spirits. With no allegiance to anyone other than the mother, presumably to carry children.
By the way, I do really like how they actually kind of keep referencing Kindred of the East, because the yin aspect is quite a big thing.
Also, they got the best werewolf artist to do this art here. I love this guy's work for Werewolf. It's really good.
As he's taking a
This is classic.
woman.
This is like very strong for Zeta energy.
Yeah, and that's why I like it.
This
It's
is-
Oh,
this
and I like
Frank
there's
Zeta
this.
energy.
There's a stork. They're following the stork.
yes.
Oh, there's a
and on the
tiger-
next page, I love the next page. Look at that. Look at that fucking
That's
art.
war.
Wait a minute. I just
There's a
realized.
tank.
Great.
There's a tank in the background.
Well, no. Here's the
It's
best part about
savaging a
this.
tank.
No, here's the best part about this. I think this is what actually the comic in the beginning is. Like, this is part of the comic in the beginning, but like the actual point of view of it.
Oh
Well,
wait, go to the next. Go to the next page.
There's a xenomorph, hidden xenomorph over there.
There's like a xenomorph. There's a corvid ripping out a ninja's eye. There's a guy at the bottom right who's carrying a submachine gun. Looks to be a servant of the Weaver.
I like that dude in the bottom. Like, he's like, hurrah, I will shoot you. It's just like, what do you think you're going to be doing here, buddy?
Yeah.
That's
And
fucking spiders
This is a
exploding.
3-page spread of amazing craziness.
This is not a spirit court.
No,
Spirit
look
court's-
at the dude with the sub-auto machine gun. He looks like he crawled out of a Minions
Yes.
group from the Venture Brothers.
Yes. Yes, I know. That's who I was talking about.
They don't pay. Man, Spider Queen never pays me enough to take on fucking experiments like this. At least I'm not getting stalked by Brock Sampson. That would just make my day worse.
Death by Samson. A worse fate than actually being devoured by the worm.
It is.
Now let's see. So the Yang realm's a place of light and power, and many spirits allied to Gaia. Then there's also the fighting spirits, where a vast plane of carnage where spirits of the unhallowed dead go to do battle.
Oh, this is
Tribesmen with
snapshot.
sticks beat on the metal sides of modern tanks. Oh, it's Korn's realm.
It's Corn's realm. What the fuck is this doing in here? I love it.
I think I see the orcs that are eternally resurrected.
The appeal of this, yeah.
No, there was appeal to this before then, but like.
All
what the
right,
shit?
all right.
Yeah, no.
Are you ready though for
Ha-
the kingdom of the dragon of the sea? The
Yes,
art
let's
here.
go. Yeah.
It's a giant-
Crab people. It's also a reference to Dark Souls 3.
I love.
I fucking love
No,
it.
no. This is a nod to Legend of the Five Rings, because look at the weapon the crab people are holding.
That's not a Tetsubo.
True. I thought they were also really good with axes, though.
They are, but that's more of a pole axe than anything else
Fair-
from the look of it.
I was just. I mean, I was just kind of. I saw the axe, saw the crab, and I'm like, yeah, Legend of the Five Rings.
Also, it looks like The
So
Dragon King?
why is Valhalla here? As Angel Arroyo compares this to Valhalla. Why is this Valhalla here of combat?
I don't know, but this is great.
it's eternal war against the Yama Kings.
Is this like some weird Umbra shit?
Yes.
It says that it's connected to
Oh.
the battleground realm.
That's
yes,
a real.
the
I always
Yang
forget
realms
that's a
are
real thing.
umbral realms. These are umbral courts, basically.
Okay.
Oh no, I like this. This is peak grimdark. The Screaming Spear. Skull-faced, bloody humans in broken antiquated armor carrying diamond-bladed, black-lacquered spears.
Why are they going this
They
fucking
cannot be
hardcore
permanently
on
destroyed in their
this?
native realm. Yeah, as I said, there's a lot of stuff to really like in this book.
Like they just said fuck it, we're going 110% today. What the fuck?
I do like though with the Kingdom of the Sea that he has a private army of spirit sharks and jellyfish.
Yeah.
Oh yes, jellyfish
It's been
are things you
50
don't
years.
fuck with.
By the way, it's been 50 years. By the way, his seneschal Gaijira.
Ah. So wait. His power extends over the waters surrounding him and boils from his mouth in the form of fire that devours even metal and stone. Godzilla's a spirit.
Yes.
The real Godzilla, the real Gojira is a spirit. It's not just
Many
the
whisper that
one.
the new no. Many whisper that the
No,
nuclear tests in the
it's
Pacific have
the.
angered Gojira beyond reason.
All right. All right, remember that Austin Powers clip? I think we can bring it up. You know, run! It's Godzilla! No, it is not. It is legally distinct, otherwise we will be sued.
Let me get that.
Let's run away anyway.
Let me get that. I don't have that on. I don't have that on roster right now. So let me just.
Of course you
quickly
don't have that on
snag it.
roster. You weren't expecting it.
I wasn't. I wasn't expecting to have fucking Godzilla in here.
It's an Asia-based White Wolf book set in the 90s. What do you think they're going to reference?
I didn't fucking know.
Sailor Moon.
What is the earliest bit of Japanese film culture that you brought over to the West? It's fucking Godzilla.
Here you go, guys.
Why didn't they make the Denison like Yama?
Well, okay. Funny bit about that.
There you go.
Oh,
No,
let's-
it's blasting. It's blasting,
Due to
dude.
international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is, Godzilla! Though it isn't.
There.
Let's go, Tangu.
Oh man. I did not fucking expect that today, man.
Also plays the guy behind him. Isn't he the Keymaker in the Matrix movies?
He was. There was also a hidden Charmander and Pikachu running away.
Let's see. We got other things. We got the Mountains of Heaven, the Tiger Lands, the Gardens of the First Age.
Yeah.
Eden.
Look at this hybrid
Yes.
monstrosity. Fuck, by the way.
Oh no, that's a
thing is
goblin.
great.
That is a goblin. That they live in the goblin jungle.
But I forget if there is a sex change gift, but I think there is somewhere in here.
I mean, you're shapeshifters. There's going to be sex change gifts.
Yeah,
We
so
have
if
the Yin
people
realms.
complained about that in later Werewolf, no, it was always a thing. It's just it got brought up more often because you know the type of players that they're trying to get.
We have the Yin realms, in which Master Splinter is apparently fighting Nyarlathotep.
By the way, we do have an actual picture of Godzilla on page 52, but
We do. We'll get.
We'll get there. We
So,
have to-
it's the Cave of the Centipedes, which I do like that they used for the worm centipedes, because that is, I know at least it's a Japanese symbol for corruption.
yes,
Because
it is.
essentially
It
they're in
is,
stagnant
yeah.
water.
Yeah, that's actually quite clever.
The green glow of balefire dances over the torture pits. Oh no, it's the Black Spiral.
I mean, they need to include something like the Black Spiral.
Yeah.
It's just there, you know?
Lord Spider's web.
The Hungry Ghost.
The
By the way,
desert-
storytellers familiar with Wraith the Oblivion may want to use that game's rules for specters to represent them instead.
When they're saying the Hungry Ghost, I thought it would have been from Pac-Man.
There's the spider place, there's the Forbidden Realm, and again,
No, the Forbidden Realm. You understand this? It is a nuclear post-apocalyptic hellhole. Many of the creatures, resembling both humans and animals, have mutations displaying their corruption. It appears to be similar to the realm of the Fighting Lands, but on a smaller scale. But then,
There he
the
is.
travelers have gone there and learned how the world will end, while others to believe that this is a trick. It doesn't actually exist.
The thing I like most is they made this Gojira look like it looks like an ukiyo-e woodcut.
Yes. Yes, they do. The art, as I said, the art in this book is genuinely really good.
I love that they decided to go with the more Edo period ukiyo-e floating world style woodcut you could get for cheap.
Then they go into the personal realms, the dragon lines and the Karens.
Cairns, and then this really nice bit of art here, which I like, because this is just a meeting of shifters at like an abandoned temple somewhere. I'm guessing in like Indonesia.
I would say not Indonesia. This might be in Assam actually.
But
Well, there's
then
the
we
Komodo
have
dragons
Asia.
there, which is why I'm saying like the.
Also, wait, Fishboy, yes, that was a goblin.
Yeah, that thing was
Goblins
a
are-
goblin.
That was goblin. The
Goblins are
goblins in
different.
this
Goblins are
very
different,
different, yeah.
in Asia.
The Beast Courts. The Sunset people find the Hengeyoka strange and unfamiliar, but in essence, they're aren't incredibly different, which they aren't. It's just their mindset for the most part.
Right.
So
It's
one of the
their
things, yeah,
it's the centralization around the culture around Gaia as the epitome.
one thing that
the
is
other bit,
different, I believe, is I don't know if there's that much personal renown. I believe it is more of a common renown system.
More
for
communal
your
rather
group.
than individual
Yeah.
acclaim.
Then
Less
we have
which is
Western
fine.
barbarian, more Middle Kingdom Chinese Han Dynasty.
Then we do have
I also
the
like that they talk about how the delirium is different, which I guess it's more of like the way that it results.
Oh shit, there's also some really neat things. The traditional number in a Sentai is 5, because it is an auspicious number. 5 cardinal directions, the 5 faces of the moon, and the 5 traditional elements. Each must be represented in a traditional Sentai, or spirits may find the war party inauspicious and unworthy of aid.
what if you have 6 though?
It's
they're going
inauspicious
hardcore.
and unworthy of aid.
Oh no, it probably they still would. The number you I think need to watch out for is
4.
it's
4.
4.
4 is death. 4 is essentially the Western version
I
of
do like
13.
how they talk about. Yes, I do like how they go with. All right, there's 2 types of these Sentai.
There is one other number I think that would be auspicious, and it's 8, because if I recall correctly, 8 is a good lucky number in Chinese mythology. If I remember
So,
right.
well, it's double death, so it cancels it out.
That actually might be the
I
reason,
think.
yeah.
So we then have
All 5
the-
also must, of course, follow the correct color scheme as the Galliard group says: red, blue, green, sometimes black, yellow, and pink.
Correct. Either that, or you use
but yeah,
you use the 5 people's flag colors of China.
And remember, red has to be in charge.
Yes.
and
That's
some
not just a Power
Sentai
Rangers
are
thing. That is Super Sentai as well.
some Sentai are fully devoted to the course of the Emerald Mother and act with unswerving unity. Basically, this is more of like your traditional Garu pack. However, there are also wave Sentais, which is basically that it is a group that comes together, does a task, and leaves.
Oh, so the crossover episodes that happen at the beginning and end of every season.
Correct.
Wave Sentai are basically like, all right, we have enough Sentais, we have numbers that are auspicious, or we don't want to make anything inauspicious, but we got these groups together. Let's throw a couple of people
Wave
here
Sentai,
because we need something.
These are for your short chronicles. Like, let's say you've done a Hengeyokai chronicle, and you want to do like a really fun culminating one. This would be where you pull your other chronicle characters that they met for your short campaigns you did. This would be like where you could get your shit talking mage, shit talking mage. You could get your spirit buddies that helped, a vampire a Quajian that helped your ass out, a changeling that you got out of a bad like this is where you can get your crossover cameo episodes.
Yes.
Right. It's
And then we have the auspices, which are different. You have the Lantern, which is the
leader.
guy who leads the team. So this is the Red Ranger.
The Fist, which
the
is
Fist.
that a Sentai without a fist is a doomed one, as they say, because you need someone who can inflict overwhelming violence.
And the next page, for a minute there, I thought it said Elemental Ninja, and I was just laughing. But
which
the
again
elements are
associates
air,
with the
earth,
elements
fire,
of
water, and moon.
And then we have the Mirror, which is the tongue spirit caller, the Leaf, the
Stealth.
Scout, and then the Pillar, serving as the legs.
The person who can get their ass out of the fire.
So this is the Voltron one.
Yeah.
I'm
just now envisioning them being able to fusion dance into a fucking abomination to kaiju
it's actually,
fight
though,
with another guy.
Is you can change your auspice.
Yes.
Which is very different.
It-
Which is one of the big differences. Yeah, you're
Yes.
kind of stuck with it in normal werewolf.
And there's a reason. There's no reason that a Garu of the 13th tribes or other shapeshifters can join the beast courts. It's just impossible because they're different.
It's
And
unheard of.
also,
it's
the Garu have kind of merged.
right.
Like
the Garu here are different than the Garu elsewhere.
Which again, I think
And it-
actually they aren't hinting it, but it does make a lot more sense if the other shifters beat the shit out of the Garu here. Makes a lot of sense because this is a ritualistic method to strip them of their former being and basically break them down psychologically to play ball. Makes a lot of sense if you think of it like that's what happened on this side of the Urals. Or should I say on this side of the deserts and the mountain ranges.
also, I didn't mean a Power Rangers crossover. What happens for every Super Sentai? So, the first episode is a crossover with the old team because they do it every year, and then the last episode is a crossover with the new team. So
That's
it's
why Power
basically a
Rangers
send-off.
did the Power Rangers had this one called Speed Force where they kind of had to get the old ones back briefly.
Well, also for the fact that they were using footages from different Sentai, so they had to change people's uniforms and all that sort of stuff.
That too, and you kind of still see that with other editions of Power Rangers where occasionally you'll get one of the older members coming back. Mainly because that's the only work they could get and they were obsessed with, doing it more.
Yes. But then, they go into
The way they
the
handle
renown
Renown's
system.
also a little bit differently. Like, they still use it, but it's more for other methods.
Yeah.
Here's the charts for each one.
And you can actually learn gifts from different breeds, auspices, and tribes.
Yes, it's a more communal idea,
Mm-hmm.
which is interesting. And I think that, again, as I said, this is a book that really, really would be very interesting to see, like a
20th
a
edition.
remake. Yeah, like a 20th anniversary edition of.
I
But
think they
who
may have done
knows?
something.
You could definitely do something really fun. I think the problem would be how the modern IP would handle it. I mean, they still have
God,
to.
no, I don't want 5th edition for this. That would be awful.
That would be
Don't you
horrendous.
understand? China is now number one. Everything's over. They've won. Let's submit.
No, it wouldn't be that. Like, remember, the people who work on the 5th edition, I mean, Renegade's gonna lose the license. It's very obvious that it's gonna get pulled from them. But there's a reason that they kind of only really did life support, even for Vampire, which that's clear. That's the one they liked the most. That one was
Given
only
the
where it is
I was
because it
gonna
was the
say-
most mature of them. Like,
I was
White Wolf guys.
I was
did
gonna say,
that.
given the politics of White Wolf, they'd accidentally agree with China's treatment of the Tibetans.
They might do that, but what they probably would do is they would just convert this to like a really crappy version of War Against the Pure. You know, like that splat book that we read a while back, where it had other shifters for Forsaken.
War Against the Pure is fantastic.
It's a fantastic book,
go
but
buy
that's
it.
what they would. But what they would do is they would take Henge Yokai and basically make a more shit version of that book, of War Against the Pure.
Wait. Henge Yokai with rank, where the colors and materials of their rank is a visual cue.
Nice.
We have, now it's different. Brown for wood, red for iron, blue for steel, yellow for gold, and white for silver. And silver is paramount. So in this case, though, the White Ranger is the one on top. Although, I just realized this, those at rank 6 are jade, and their color is green.
That's actually
I feel
perfect.
like that's a bit of a Power Rangers nod, but also jade is a popular
Jade
color.
is the sacred. Yes,
Jade was a sacred stone that is often used for a lot of things, and not just in China, but like in a lot of the world. It's pretty.
It also looks very pretty. Yes, that's part of the reason why. It's like gold.
And then we go into the actual beasts.
The Hakan with this very
this
anime inspired outfit.
You say it's anime inspired. Okay, It reminds me a little bit of Usagi Yojimbo, like the early issues
You're
of
right, yeah.
Yeah. It's really
So,
or early Ninja Turtles, like the comic. I mean, not the TV show.
they're sort of all right. Basically, all werewolves in the East are shadow lords, but different.
basically, they have their own code.
Right.
To be, for instance, straightforward. This is the notion of appearing straightforward. So don't ruffle feathers,
Right.
especially in the case of the Korax.
This is like your traditional samurai bushido design thing. It's kind of interesting in how they twist like the Shadow Lord stuff into being this.
It basically
took a
is
lot of
tamper down the
effort.
rage. Tamper down the rage. Don't act like an asshole, and admit when you're wrong. And also, fuck your wolves.
They're like, we're running out of lupus. We're basically out of lupus. This is
You.
fucking awful.
You. Turn to a wolf.
We need to get wolves from outside, or we need to start bringing in other shifters.
No, you're getting
Can
the
you
joke
imagine
wrong.
hold on, can you imagine if there were panda shifters?
Okay, so here's what actually happened. You take the classic shitpost still. A dog is fine too. Show the anime dog trickster spirit that turned into it. The oh god, I'm about to die. This is a cat is fine too, but actually taken seriously.
This is
I can't
This
screw this
this
animal.
is a
I'm not a
terrible.
white woman.
This is pretty dumb.
I'm not a what's the what's the female tribe?
Black Furies.
Yeah, I'm not a Black Fury. I can't fuck that.
But thou must. But thou must. Okay.
Let's see.
That kind of knocks my head out of ever wanting to play one of them because Jesus Christ, how horrifying.
They do give they have their traits, breeds, and forms.
They spelled Wakizashi wrong.
Yes, they did.
Their gifts.
So, is there a reason they're all in Japan?
Because it looks cool.
Yeah, but there's like other wolves like in China, if I remember right.
Because it looks cool.
Yeah, like literally, it's because it's cool.
Admittedly, I think the reason they picked it, besides it looks cool, is because if they had them in China, they would just play the corrupt administrator sort of guy. You know, the corrupt like duplicitous administrator, like a eunuch sort of figure. They wanted to do something different with the Shadow Lords, I think.
Though next up is the Thundercats.
Look at this. No, it's the gorilla from. You know how Dexter's Lab used to have these segments where there's the superpowered monkey? That's the gorilla guy he fought in the first episode before he realized that it was good to be in nature and run around naked. He got hit with cosmic radiations and became an ape man.
Basically,
I wasn't referring. I wasn't referring to the I was referring to the tiger shifter.
That's what I meant.
The Khan. Oh,
that's the Khan, I think, with the sword, right?
Yeah, but that's a woman. No, that's the man.
No, Khan doesn't have a sword.
Man up there.
That's a wolf shifter. That's
the wolf shifter
Haken.
reminds me of the. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you meant that piece of art.
It's just Haken right there above him. It's like what are you?
I was looking at the picture.
Okay.
Sorry. This is Thundercats. This is. Oh no! This is. Did they actually trace the cheetah one? And then just made it look like the. No, they traced the cheetah one, I think, and then made it the little girl because of the hair.
Well, no, because I can unfortunately see a bit of the nipple on whatever this sort of latex or
her.
Well, they aged the character up because otherwise they'd go to jail.
But no, there is the monkey.
No, don't you understand? Don't you understand? She's a 2,000-year-old spirit.
If you scroll down to page 69, nice. This art, man.
He has the anti-horny stick.
Yeah, he has the anti-horny stick.
Well, actually, did you
So-
not know, Not Nito? One of my other identities, my Mr. Hyde figure, is actually Phil Percato. I've been Phil all along. That's why I
But
get
right, they're
distracted.
talking about they're tiger shifters or big cat shifters. The point being, they're on the
They're-
decline.
yeah.
They're trying to figure this
They're on the
shit out. They're
decline
not
too,
quite
yeah.
as bad off.
They're also more warriors.
Yes.
They're related to the Bastet. They are basically Bastet.
Mhm.
They're a bit differently.
And of course, they have their shit talking stereotypes, as every group has in Old World.
Yep. Then we have the Kumo. Spiders.
I fucking love this piece of art.
They
I fucking love the
yeah.
spider war forms. They're always
they
really
are-
neat.
They
Oh,
are
yeah.
basically the spiders, but they follow the worm. Quite literally the same thing.
They are
Except
essentially
they have
devotees. They're basically the
Yeah.
Black Spiral dancers.
they have three
Yes.
families. But boils down to be wild, insane, kill, maim, torture.
Basically, what happened was they heard about the Jorogumo, and they decided to, make it. Which, hey, fair enough. Evil killer spider people is a great idea.
And actually, as we're looking to the breeds, it does bring up that the Medi for the Kumo are actually revered. However, it does involve killing the mother.
Yeah, it kind of like bursts out of them like a fucking chest.
Because here's the
yeah.
thing. Every Medi is sterile. So, yeah, that is frowned upon.
Well, I mean, yeah, they don't have the numbers to kind of just do that.
Well, also, it renders them sterile.
Yep.
Then we have the Naga.
Snake
Oh no,
tits.
you forgot the big ugly bastard here.
Snits.
No, you forgot the ugly bastard here. Look at him.
Oh yes, NTR NTR Fat Man.
No,
Anyway.
that's just an ogre from Warhammer Fantasy.
Also correct. What I find interesting is, despite being corrupted by by being agents of the centipede, he still has the long earlobes of the Buddha. Long earlobes are supposed to indicate a form of wisdom, so that's actually kind of interesting.
Yeah,
to me.
the Naga are interesting because this is the were snakes, obviously.
Are they interesting to you, Tech, because she's wearing see-through clothing?
No, I'm looking at their actual like statistics because of all the breeds they have.
Ah, yes.
Yes, they have 4 different types.
They have 4 different forms.
Also, breeds. Oddly enough, their Medi are as fertile as any other Naga. 1 in 10 of the Oz children will be a Naga. If female, the Ahi may choose not long into the pregnancy whether she wishes to give birth to humans or serpents, then spends the remainder of the pregnancy in the chosen form.
Again, they're weird and they're different, and I think that kind of works out. Their forms are also a lot more
They all
wild.
Yeah, also, despite the advantage of if they did humans, they get twins or triplets. They strive for balance.
I don't really have much to say on that because that's way too much thought putting into the breeding cycles of snakes. And Not Nito also is
Their
saying the
gifts
joke
are
that I
really
was
cool.
trying to hold.
Come on.
Come on.
There's
like
more thought put into
their
this
gifts
than
are
there
actually
should
really
be.
neat. The gifts are really neat. I think that the difference between them and other reptile shifters we've seen so far, very neat. And
oh no, they're creative, but the amount of detail they put into
the amount of detail they put on that is a little bit like, okay, please don't fuck the snake. But
and then we have Clan Eshin.
Well, no, I know exactly what. No, I know why they did that. No, here's the thing. I know why they did that. They had an artist commission the snake shifter, and then they just started writing with one hand. There you go. By the way, here's another great take on the Naga.
Splinter and Clandestin.
I want you to understand. The art on 85, that is fucking Clan Eshin. Games Workshop might have a lawsuit on their hand.
Oh my god, yeah, that is. Wow. Wow.
Well, actually, wait, no, they're not snout-like.
They could still sue.
That might be sued.
That could still be sued.
I actually
That's
love
not
these
good.
guys, though. Again, rat shifters have always been some of my favorites, and these guys do it really well.
Here's my problem with the art, though. So I actually know what they're basing it on because they call them Nezumi. It's based on a very famous Japanese bandit who was canonically burned at the stake, if I remember right. Ebisumaru, I think. And like they could, because of the whole way the thing was tied to his face, they could have done it like that. I think that would have made more sense.
Mm.
Because the way the bandana was tied to the face, it kind of formed like a rat whiskers and tails. At least I might be confusing it with the.
However, on the downside, they mentioned releasing poison gas in a Japanese subway.
Oh,
That's gonna require me to
Oh.
get something a bit more stronger. 1 second, let me be right back because I
That
don't
was
feel like talking
five
about
ye-
LF.
that was 5 years before this. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
that's like a 9/11
Now,
joke.
Incorrect.
now then again, if these are Skaven, that would make sense. But why would they be Shinriku?
Well, I mean, they eat each other when they're fucking breeding.
Why would they be Why would you reference Shinriku with these guys?
Because they're literally, their plan is, we just need to fucking kill more people. We need to deal with the overpopulation problem in Asia. It's time to commit the genocide.
I mean,
Oh,
yeah,
no.
that's the thing about rat shifters. So
Wait. Whose totem is associated with bat?
I don't remember.
The bats?
No,
The
it's not bat.
Kamazats?
I think actually Black Spirals. They made a deal with the Black Spiral Dancers.
Well, yeah, because
And
the
then they
bat
released
shifters were
COVID.
basically killed off.
No, they released COVID through them.
Don't give them
I do
ideas. They
like-
might release that.
I do like, though, that they go all in on, like, you know how the Western Ratkin are with all that. No, these guys are like fucking just like, the other ones are subtle. They want to slowly get ready before they take their vengeance upon everyone else. Nah, these guys are like, fuck it. It's time for the swarm below. The vermin tide must commence.
These
Yeah.
are Skaven. These are Skaven.
Oh, hey, Gallagher Group
know.
actually remembers. Black Spiral Dancers got most of bat. The Shadow Lords got the remainder.
So they made a deal with the Haken to get an infected bat spirit, and then unleashed it in the wet market.
Again, amazing. I love these guys.
They're called the Children of the Rat. If they worship a horn,
By the way, Ritual of Plague Genesis.
What can I even say at this point? You know,
Okay.
I was kind of expecting the Kitsune to be the problem, but thank you, Ratkin. Very cool.
Well, the
Again,
one thing
I love these little fuckers.
Well, the
They're
one thing I
great.
can see with this is that any of these guys could be men or women. It's not like the Skaven females.
Yes. Now, I want to say, the next one, the art for this is really kind of hardcore.
Samebito.
The Samebito.
Shark people.
It comes up to you and it says one word. Ah.
Yeah.
Look at this dude. He is so fucking hardcore.
They actually are better than the
Okay, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Again, you could say the rat shifters are worse. These guys are better in a way. They're more cultured.
They're willing to. Yeah, they're cultured. They have Hamid versions of them.
They're less brutal as a
the
whole
goblin
because of the code.
sharks. Yeah, the goblin sharks are their main form similarity, which I find very interesting.
A little bit.
Actually,
I'm seeing Great White and Mako and Tiger as well.
Yes, but they mention that the Samebito, the noble casters are from the goblin sharks.
I also like that they have deep ones.
Yes,
they have their own Innsmouth.
Yes, they do.
The occasional Rongo is irresistibly drawn to the sea before his first change if he didn't grow up there already.
Yeah. They have 5 forms. They have a lot of well, it's a fucking wereshark. You should already know weresharks are fucking awesome.
It's a I like this. The Carvu. The human shark form is 10 feet tall with dorsal fins and webbed feet.
By the way,
head's
there
next
is
swell and bulk.
another reason. There is another reason, even though they do have homid forms, they're less common, and it's because usually when the shark gets with the person, it's usually kin that comes out.
Ah.
Yeah.
It's still rare, but it happens more often because they're a lot less isolated from humans.
Right.
So are they
I
seeing the
do love
Lasombra
their war form.
antediluvian? I like the idea they just have tea parties with them at 20,000 fathoms below the sea.
I do love their war form though, which just it's so good of like this idea of like these things are silent.
They're 10
They
feet
don't
tall and
speak.
absolutely quiet.
Yes,
Double rows of
because
razor sharp teeth.
they could speak if they wanted to, but generally they won't because they'll communicate amongst themselves via electrical impulse. They'll literally have like radio.
Serrated skin
Yes, they have.
Yes.
covers the body.
Real
Bare
sharks have
flesh,
Again,
it gets sliced.
hardcore.
Real
I
sharks
love
have
these
teeth.
dudes.
Real sharks have teeth all over their body because they're modified skin cells. It's supposed to make them move faster in the water, but it's also why if you rub a shark the wrong way, your hand gets sandpapered.
And then they smell the blood.
Yes.
They're
By the way,
I
they
love
can
their
spontaneously
stereotypes.
become kaiju. Because at level 4,
What?
they can attain a tsunami form, which doubles their size.
Their size, yes. You can play just a kaiju. I love these guys so much.
Which is so that's a 20-foot tall monster.
I've always liked the Rokea. Rokea are one of my favorite changing breeds because, again, Sharkman is just a vibe. It
And
is
last
just
but not
like,
least,
all right.
Dianoi's Rage, where they can
One
gain
last
plus
thing.
3 rage to their rage they already have, temporarily.
Right. Again, they're great. The other bit with this is their quote is fantastic. Like, the lords have decreed that you are thoroughly unwelcome in these waters. Leave now, or your blood will flow through the gills of my brethren. Your skull will make a home for the crabs.
But by the way, their response to the Naga and all their weird pregnancy shit, sullen stare.
Sullen stare.
Perfect.
I love the bit where they like the Tengu, because they're like, oh, they swim to the depths of the sky.
Speaking of the Tengu, look at that discount anime protagonist of the 70s.
That's not an anime protagonist from the 70s. That is a delinquent. That's an anime high school delinquent. He has a fucking pompadour, the high cheeked bones, the fucking open vet. That is a fucking delinquent character.
And he's only 15 years old.
I love the direction they went with this.
The Tengu also work a bit different than sort of like the Rokea. They don't actually produce with interbreeding. They don't actually produce anything but kinfolk if they mate with like a hominid or a corvid. However,
they have to attach a spirit egg to any human or raven to create a Tengu. So they're more bound to spirit. And you must donate 3 permanent gnosis.
Yes, I like this actually. I think it's very fitting with how like the Tengu are often portrayed.
And you start with gnosis 6.
Right.
And Tengu considers both his birth parents and the spirit donor to be his parents.
Which makes sense.
Rokea doubles in size once. Macaulay, that's cute, becomes 128 times larger.
128 times larger. I mean, yeah, but they're dinosaurs. Like, there's a difference between being a dinosaur and being a giant shark man.
And a dinosaur swim.
Yeah.
What if you can?
Yeah, but not as well as a shark. Even a shark man.
True.
The Tengu also have a lot of stuff to do with like the swordsmanship stuff, which
also good use of their ties to the sun because of the traditional crow representing the sun.
And look at page 97.
I actually really like how they handled the Tengu.
Yeah, I think the Tengu are one of the highlights of this book because it actually gives you
they even did the war form in the style of a Tengu with the monk hat.
Yes, that's what they look like, and I love it. Yeah,
and the beak serves as the long nose. That's great.
Which is what they say is like they even mentioned that Tengu have mastered particularly the fine points of swordplay and things like that, which I think is really really cool. They do a lot of like their feathers are sword like the slicing feathers.
Because of the ability that you can get, the gift you can get called
Yes.
Yoshitsune's sword.
I do not like the name of the rite though. The rite of the fetish egg.
I mean,
Well, the
fetish
egg,
is in the ritual.
fetish is in like a
It's
spirit,
totem.
like a ritual.
I
Spirit.
know, but this is werewolf we're talking about.
Don't worry, we're gonna get to the Uwu Fox girls later.
Then we have Zhong Lung,
Zhong Lung.
crocodiles,
Zhong Lung.
Basically, these are your mukle.
and
Because
dragons.
rather than be like dinosaurs, they decided, fuck that shit, we're doing dragons.
Well, given that, let's think about this. You have the crocodiles of the Chinese rivers. You have the salties, because there's the saltwater crocodiles, which aren't that far away. Then you got the Komodo dragons. You got monitor lizards. You have really big frickin' reptiles in the area.
Reticulated pythons, all this. Honestly, I love this bit where they show like the fact is they just turn into dragons. They even describe it.
Yeah, and they're revered and honored because they become dragons, because they are tied directly to the Great Emerald Mother. This ties to the divine aspect. That's why they're often seen as either leaders or wise teachers. By the way,
they
hello there,
literally turn
Jimmy.
into Chinese
The
dragons.
book is pretty darn good. There's a couple of what the fucks that we've gone through, mostly from the rat folk, but the rat folk are always kind of what the fuck because they are willing to go 100% on kill peopleism.
It's
100%,
their auspices are
110%.
also fun too, where they have the
There
new
was a
names
bit
for
of
them
cringe
and
with
all
the
that.
Nagas and the pregnancy description, but other than that, it's a great book so far.
Yep. Then we'll go into the weapons and the antagonists.
I want to go more into the Lung. Fair enough.
I mean, that was the Lung.
The Lung, like, again, get the book. It's good.
Yeah.
It is pretty darn good. Like the things I'm pointing out, they're just like little things.
Like, yeah, like I like some of the. There's the flaw of the angry ancestor.
Yeah,
like literally. Yeah, traditional stuff.
Oh
where it's
wait,
like, yeah,
no.
your ancestor ain't happy with
Chinese
you.
No, I
ancestor
realize
worship
this.
is one of the oldest
I
religions.
would take this. I would take this as a flaw. Literal Asian tiger mom. If you fail, if you botch a roll, you suffer like a. I don't know. You recall back to your past, and how your mother treated you, and so you can rage out or something like that.
No, that sounds like too much like a benefit. I would instead have it be that if you fail a roll, what instead happens is, I mean, it just doesn't work. The angry ancestors, though, I really like because, again, in Chinese and in Japanese cultures, but in Chinese especially, ancestor worship is very strong to the point where you have to make offerings to your ancestors on traditional meetings. That's why family is so important. And if you don't, it's often considered the reason why bad
get
things
hungry.
happen. And yes,
And the ghosts come back and they make bad things happen to you. They have a lot of rights that they talk about.
The mind speak, which allows you to actually talk with people.
Yep. Martial arts.
Blazing
I did like
talons. Your hands glow fire.
I like the gift of courtly speech.
Yes, this is actually very good. It allows you to speak any one of the changing breed tongues as if it was your native language. Which I think is really useful, and it might explain why they haven't fallen apart, because suddenly they could actually all talk to each other. Which meant that, like, why would you be going on a freak out about this shit? We're all trying to defend Gaia here. Isn't that right, Garu Nation?
Then we do have
again, I still think that's why the Haken are subservient in this caste systems, because they lost. They
have to
lost during that war.
Yeah. The right of the second face.
That allows you to join.
Yeah.
Or it allows you to change your auspice. They also have death rights, which it makes sense.
Yes.
Please tell. Okay, hear me out. Please tell me they have professional mourners, because I just want to see the 10-foot tall shark man tear apart their clothing and scream.
I just imagine the giant shark.
They give this.
You know that one werewolf shitpost image of the werewolf tearing his shirt off that's been on like Twitter all the time?
Yeah.
You know that one? I'm imagining that as a giant shark shifter, like real muscled up, and it's really funny.
But yeah, professional mourners are a real thing because you're supposed to experience.
They do
grief.
talk about that with this the mourning of the journey's end, which is the rite that they talk about.
Nice.
The hero's surviving Sentai mates of any sing a chant of loss and sorrow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, as the
They-
mantra
they-
concludes, a high wind arises, the lanterns are extinguished, and the body of the fallen vanishes, absorbed directly into the umbra.
There's
No
not
greater
a
honor
lot of
exists.
history of how these guys affected East Asia, but I do like they at least, barring a few weird clunky bits, seem to have gotten the vibe right. At
They
least
even
for
have
China,
magic tattoos, which
They
I
have
am always
yeah.
a fan of.
which is something that was believed. It's a reason why the Brethren of the Big Sword or whatever thought they could just Naruto run through bullets.
Right. They have punishment rights as well. Of
The
course,
right of the
they have
Goblin Chrysalis.
The right of the quiet burial for those
Yes.
who have disgraced. Because I don't believe that there's not that much for suicide, so there's no seppuku.
In Japan it is. In China, it's more
yeah.
expected. You just find a way to die while
Also-
doing something.
Also, the totems are good too. I think that they are. These are ones you could easily bring over to
You've got
standard
bear,
You got the bear.
dog. Dog is a loyal and watchful friend. It's not a very popular totem, which yeah,
No shit.
no shit. The hare.
Hare, mongoose. I like mongoose.
Wait, quick-witted, gentle, energetic, clever. Oh, it's Pecora.
What,
No,
Harris?
mongoose is great.
It's because rabbits have a different meaning in Japan, particularly. And
Yep,
also,
mongoose.
Fa Mulan is often described and referenced as a rabbit. Wow,
Mongoose
Actually, no.
is great.
It actually is Pecora. Requires that his Sentai protect children of all sorts and species.
like I said,
And
rabbits are
expects the
interpreted
children
differently
to
in Asian
become,
culture.
parents themselves. Basically,
It's
the
Pecora or
it's
Shinzo Abe.
I was going to say it's the Shinzo Abe totem.
Okay, I'm just envisioning the totem spirit just looking like Shinzo Abe with rabbit ears.
Yes, that is the spirit. Anyway, mongoose, great spirit. I like this one a lot.
Yep. And then there's Ox, which is also pretty decent.
Mongoose does not accept were-snakes as children, obviously.
Yep. And then Prince Inari.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a species.
Womp womp. It's supposed to be.
It's
Kitsune. It's Kitsune.
It's the great Kitsune spirit that's related to rice and harvest.
Yeah,
which
great god Inari. He's also referenced as a type of. He actually has a type of sushi named after him.
Oh.
yes,
It is, however,
You know what
a sign of things to come.
You know what
compared to the
I've
other
realized?
animals.
A lot of these bands revolve around children and protecting them.
in families, yes.
Yeah.
It's very,
and then
it's
we got
very
the
important.
various-
Families are extremely important. There's a reason why, if you ever go to a Chinatown, they usually have on their gates something like "From across the sea, we still clasp each other by the hand." That's why Chinese communities are very, very kind to those who come from either mainland or the islands. It's why they often work together for at least a generation or two before the influences from other cultures mingles with it. It like helping someone out is very common because of that.
Then we get into their Furry variants, which there's a lot.
Oh,
because
the
you're
fetishes
going
like
from-
Yummy Slayer spells, Tengu
The
Feather
Five
Cloak.
Winds fans.
Like these are
Yes.
anime attacks, man.
I know they're great,
Earthquake Maul.
but yeah,
Lightning bolt.
you just shout this shit.
Yeah. Then we've got Bankemono.
Which are for
The antagonist, the Furry, which is
Also, do
kind
you
of
have
what
to
I
point
wanted
out
to get to.
from also, I finally got that Wascally Abe. I mean, Wabbit.
But
yeah, I knew I shouldn't have
the-
taken that turn at Niigata.
So they have
wow, what the hell?
a couple of fun ones, which I guess some of these are based off of yokai, others off of like traditional Chinese and other.
Let's see. Biting Plague, which is a nod to Hungry Ghosts, basically a very common variant of yokai, is based on the restless dead who could not eat enough, so they have the famine belly.
Centipedes.
Face
Hellish
jackets.
Beauty.
Yep.
Spirit Eye.
A perversion of
Basi-
the third eye of wisdom opening.
Third Eye or like the only eye.
Yep. Thousand Jaws, Biting Plague. Yeah, again, just stuff to add to your Furry.
Thousand
and
Jaws,
then the
which
Banes
is
are
a
the
bit
fun
of a
one.
nod to the two-mouthed woman.
Yeah, the Banes
Yep.
are the fun one though. That's kind of what I. Sorry,
Face
Look at that
jackets.
skin of faces. The cloak of faces. Look at them.
face jackets.
I'm making this for Fabius Bile.
I love these guys.
I also love the little weird crawdad guy with other faces on him. Look at him. He's just vibing.
Yep, that is a Mukade, I think.
I think
They're
you're
as
right.
large as train cars and reek prodigiously of rot and corruption. Many have human-like faces swelling from the chitin of their heads or even along the lengths of their bodies. The mandibles are frankly immense and drip with spiritual corruption. In ages long ago, slaying a Mukade was something of a rite of passage among great Hangyokai heroes, but now the heroes are fewer, and the Mukade breed and writhe in numbers ever greater in the Yomei worlds.
By the way,
And I mean, look at their stats. They're
by the way,
great.
Bota. Bota is a nod to. It's a type of Indian spirit. If I recall
Yeah,
correctly.
A hungry ghost, yeah.
Yes and no. It's a bit different. Like Indian creatures,
And
like Indian
then we
creatures
have,
and supernatural monsters are a bit different.
Then we have
Then
the
we have
water
mention
ghosts.
of yep,
The
and
weeping women who drowned.
They talk about
blood
the
guards
Quaijin
of
as well.
Yomei. And a little bit about the Cajun, because you have to mention them as adversaries. You also
Wait
get
a minute,
Penonglin
look.
getting.
There's a Penang. There's that. Oh god.
There's a fox with multiple tails just biting the shit out of a Penonglin, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, let's look at that next image.
It's actually not terrible, but it's
It's not terrible, but
great.
I don't know what she's doing with the foxes.
You know what she's
well,
doing.
I guess they're just chilling, man. It's like, it's hey, we're hanging out.
So they have to say, why did we put this instead of making this as a separate book?
No. I know what's going on. This is the Netflix and chill, and they're just about to start chilling. There you go. Moving on. Chapter 5. The worst part of the book. We're here.
It is the breed book for the Kitsune.
No, that's not. Chapter 5 is literally 2 pages. Or 3 pages. Which is just to explain, why are we doing this?
Oh, this is the parlor, the entrance hall, the receiving chamber of what's about to absolutely fuck over every poor bastard who wants to do a werewolf game. Excellent.
And then we go into chapter 6.
Oh,
So,
they
I
have
really
their
like-
own unique lexicon. I already hate them. I already hate them for that.
So,
I know why. They're specifically based on Japanese lore, but I already hate them for this. Here comes the fetish. Do 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 do.
We get they mention
the art
basically
here I
everywhere
like.
where fox.
No, I like
Yes.
the art here, where the fox is
The
just
art's
kind of
good, yeah.
admiring as they burn down a temple.
They have a lot of actually
because it
really
turns
good
out
art.
foxes are assholes.
Yes.
I mean,
Major
they're
assholes.
dogs with cat hardware, and they are much more moody because of this.
How many assholes
So
do we got on this ship?
They have the white-faced ones. They talk about the first fox shifter.
I like this
long
though
story.
with the age of Gaia. And where does it start? The monkey plague, page 132.
Basically, the monkey.
So
Yeah,
Gaia,
this
Gaia,
is some long
yeah.
fan fiction. And
well, no, but I like Gaia wakes up, tiny reddish lights spark at her face, and Luna's like, "What's going on?" And then, like a sitcom, Gaia says, "Worm, Weaver, Wild, what have you been doing?" Cue the laugh track.
Who are these thieves
What?
that wield your powers?
These are
What
not
thieves?
thieves.
Oh.
These are man.
These are man. You made them yourself. Just after Mammoth and before Manatee. We have found them extremely adaptable and used them in our work.
Man, woman. Yeah, Wild is, well, Wild.
Wild, yeah. I did make some. Golden Bone Hummers. What are they? Those
Well, no, he
were
said if I wanted
old-fashioned.
monkeys with shiny bony necks, I would have made them. It's like, what is that thing around its neck? But these monkeys can do all that and more. Now that we taught them what we know.
At the
and
time of
their
death,
time is-
I had them take. I take things when their time is done. I had man get them out of the way.
Gone,
Gone.
dead.
Dead.
All that.
You don't like
didn't-
them. We can kill
it
them
was-
too if you don't want them
yeah.
around.
Wild said nothing, but spun more badly around his mother. And then, basically, it's like, you three must take your gifts from man, and he must forget how to do all these things. Oh, so these are actually the spirits, the angels.
I don't know. All I know is that I have no clue what's going on, and I really fucking hate this terrible fan fiction that is being spammed in my eyes.
Wait,
It's making
And
them
then
bleed a bit.
Wild spoke for probably a full paragraph, explaining they
Yes,
couldn't take
that
their
was the
gifts
point.
away.
Then
and then-
for the monkeys, then Gaia could turn back time and become her own mother. Worm could only
What?
destroy man, not change them, and Weaver only bind them, not take away their powers. And Wild didn't remember exactly what he had done to give the monkeys minds that could grow, but he couldn't undo his either. And Luna wondered if Worm could only destroy and Weaver could only bind and Wild could only grow, what would happen to a creature that was cursed by all three?
I already really hate how the entire thing is just one long, weird, dumb personal project fan fiction.
Yeah, and then
I don't like
basically,
this at all. This is ass.
the Weaver corrupts the Worm. Goes into
Actually,
panic.
you know what this reminds me of?
Wild throws a tantrum and then forgets about the whole thing.
Yeah, no, here's what the thing. You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of that weird, god-awful Children of Gaia fanfiction that Phil Bricado wrote about how man ruined, like, Christianity or whatever by having the patriarchy.
Oh yeah, no,
whatever.
the Kitsune, this
This
is
is
their
horrible.
origin story. And they are
Yes.
smug as fuck.
Because
yeah, I'm
you
ignoring
see,
all of it already.
they don't emerge until the Fourth Age.
Mm-hmm.
No. And also,
And
little
they're there to-
Kitsune, it did not prove themselves merely the first, but the best.
They save the best for last, after all. And we're here to make sure that everybody, follows in line and follows Gaia, because we're Gaia's special children.
Wait, so what you're saying
You
is
learn
they're the
words,
10:30
and we
they're the
learn
10:30
thievery.
breakfast at a fast food place? So it's all the stuff
We
that they're
learn
about to kick out? Because it's shit.
Yes.
Words in thievery, and then they talk about like, where are they? The East, of course, the West as well. The Sunset people think that they know us, and maybe.
I've already completely forgotten everything in this entire... Like, my eyes are going cross-eyed. I am actually not even reading any of this. Look at how... Okay, I'm going to count how many pages that whoever fucking wrote this wasted. Because this is a complete waste of page space. Alright, let's start. 127... Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12... Look at how far I'm already gone. 13. We're already about 10% of the way through this book. Wow. 14.
Also, they are
15.
very firmly from Japan.
Of course they are.
They also mentioned that Japan is like a very separate part of the Hengyokai courts. It's different.
Of course,
And they
because
also-
of anime.
they also- They
Well,
also
because
love
it's an island.
paper. They love paper.
It's not as different as you think.
And
given
origami.
that, it had a ton of influence from China.
They have a lot of stuff. They've mentioned that they are on the mainland. They're all over the mainland.
I like this segment of Thief. Everyone knows that foxes steal. But you see, we weren't the only thieves. The Tangu were bandits in their own way, and the Basset knew a thing or three about theft themselves.
Oh, goody
In fact-
gumdrops. They're the Kender of this setting. Amazing.
So the one thing we stole from them was that very trick of theft. And it wasn't the only
Wunderbar,
thing we
you
needed to
made
steal. You see,
shit.
from that point on, we weren't really thieving as Kitsune. We were really practicing a Basset pastime.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, Angel Arroyo, I don't have a mind shield from the Mind Sphere of Magic. What happens is when I read garbage, do you know what I actually hear instead of what you guys were saying? I hear
Womp,
the
womp,
sounds...
womp, womp.
No, I hear the sounds of pigs getting butchered. Like living pigs being butchered, and my eyes just kind of glaze over.
Why do you think I'm already on page 148?
Well, no, I do like here, because you see, this is all to teach a lesson. You see, at one point, they were dealing with a pair of dashi that knows a peculiar-looking wolf whose fur was black as any Hawkins and gums were green as the sea. The wolf was worrying about a human carcass, pulling out the entrails. And the two dashi immediately said divination to one another and ran off to find a human to practice on.
Okay, here's my next question. Why they living shit did they not just do what they did for the other breeds and just added like a couple more pages since it's new?
Oh no, wait, no, this is I thought this was them pulling a trick on Hawkins by saying you're both worm tainted. No, this is them realizing that they're worm tainted.
Oh, you forgot the worst part. So this boy, this Marco Polo lololol, comes to China.
Oh, that.
Big deal. That was so funny that I forgot how to smile.
Also, we hate the Weaver. We hate the Weaver so much.
How come Silken West before Marco Polo? How come green tea in India?
I think you can
Surprised they didn't
understand why if you
I'm
ever...
surprised they kept the L's in. I can tell you one thing: democracy is empire. Oh, hi, Chinese government simps. Are the Kitsune Wumao? You
They
get
might
coup on
be.
schedule of democracy, and all kinds of purges happen at the same time.
By the way,
All
I'm
kinds
trying
of...
to
It is
help you, not
both
Nito.
systems are very bad, is what they try to. I don't fucking get it.
You see, Chinese socialism with Chinese characteristics, very good indeed.
Mao Zedong thought evolved
Yes,
into
or
Xi Jinping
death or
thought,
people.
best thought. China number one.
All right.
The worst
all
thing
right.
about
Again,
West is how it...
just get to where I'm at, because this shit is boring, and let's get to the stuff that's actually
It's
interesting.
not boring. It's awful fan fiction. By the way,
Yeah.
the worst part is not Nito. This is not where they gain sorcery. That's another horrible book. That's another horrible section of a book, I should say. This is just garbage fucking fan fiction, which does not actually tell you anything about the Kitsune. This entire chapter should have been cut from the book, and it would have improved an order of magnitude for it.
I mean, it does set up one thing. They're assholes, and I think the Garu could get another Imperium just to kill these people.
Well, no, here's what I learned.
War of Rage 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Here's what I learned. This is a great... If someone rocks in your Werewolf Chronicle or your Hengeyoka Chronicle as a Kitsune shifter, kick them out immediately. You don't even have to think about it. After reading that, just you already know instinctively, it is very similar to how in Ars Magica, people intrinsically hate the wizard because they could just smell it. They know, they can see. That boy ain't right. I tell you what.
But don't worry. They have a tragedy to them. They have a curse, which is every time Kitsune is born, a parent dies. Or someone dies, at least.
Oh god, this is still going on. Jesus wept.
You
It's
know?
still going.
So
Oh my
we do
god.
get that
Oh,
tragedy.
yeah. Why do you think I said skip to like 148? Because at least it gets more interesting.
148
I
then.
didn't even realize. Oh my, this is the worst. It's so badly formatted that I didn't even
And more relevant.
Let's see. It is they do say it is a very big world. There is room for all of us here, if things are properly managed. But then again, that is why we're here. By the end of the 6 days, we should have an entire world in such a condition that things may improve for our glorious Fox Reich.
This is the literary equivalent of a fast motion watching an animal decay live.
Japanese
4K
foxes.
edition.
This is a line. This is a line just in
yeah.
context, out of context. Amazing. All right, let me tell you this one. I'm going to need to clear my throat here. Japanese foxes are often accused of being the most arrogant and racist of our kind. Perhaps this is true, or perhaps the others are simply jealous of our divine heritage. We are descended from both Inari and Amaterasu, after all. Which is true? You tell me.
My response: hey, I'm going to pretend I'm Commodore Perry.
Open the country.
I'm
Do
Open
not
the country
have it still
and
be
shut
closed.
the fuck up.
I really wish that the
We
Demon
have
Core was
guns
used as a third
on
bomb
boats.
specifically on them right now.
We have guns on boats. Gunboats.
I am actually having a minor stroke as I'm trying to figure out.
In many ways, this is our island, and many foxes are dedicated to cleansing it entirely so that it may become a stronghold from which to attack the rest of the world's Yomi.
Oh god, I just realized...
Oh no! I realized this. These guys were involved in the Japanese government, World War II.
They were. They were.
They were
Now you realize.
You see,
Now you
silly Gaijin, we're going to show you how to actually use weapons of mass destruction. I'm going to create a unit 731.
3 numbers, one of which 4 and 6. And
what page are you on? I'm stroking out. I'm on the laws of heaven.
However, they say that their race was born in the mainland.
So I can already tell you that you know what I've learned, because you described how they seem to... This is written by a furry. This is written by a furry I can tell because of the stupid misanthropism, the garbage fan fiction, and the fact they will probably crash out that I've pointed this out. This is shit. This
Oh
Alright.
no, the
This-
Americas. The Americas. South America is less important to us. Although there are foxes there, they are sort of an unfamiliar to us and likely beneath our superior breeding. If Gaia had intended to intervene in the continent's affairs, she would have placed red foxes there. You do realize that
There's
you could
other
have done an
species
interesting-
of foxes. There's an
You could
one
have.
of the-
You could have done the Japanese Brazilian community.
Okay, so I'm
You think that
actually
these people would have known
losing
about that at the time.
I'm losing it
Yeah.
because, okay, let me tell you. There is a dog breed. It's not a dog breed. It was a breed of fox that was raised by South Americans to serve the place of dogs because they never got them from the agricultural packets. They were mostly found in the Tierra del Fuego region, and they went extinct because foxes are moody little shits. Even if you domesticate them, they're moody shits because they have cat software. They were replaced with dogs for a reason. There are foxes there. You could have easily done other fox shifters, you misanthropic fuck! Go back to your garbage Ink Bunny account and cry. Jesus. Ah!
Now, Jimmy Jones, I do want to say, as a Jew, we are taught never again, but I'm fine with an exception for the Kitsune.
Bomber Harris, one more time!
So the laws of heaven.
They do! There's
Are-
multiple fox species. There's red, gray, fennec.
They want to eventually explore Africa.
Eventually.
They want the Eastern Co-Prosperity Sphere.
And I wouldn't hate
I
them
could
as much if they weren't written so smarmily, and if it wasn't like 20 pages of fucking garbage fan fiction.
Oh God, I could just see there was a Kitsune wanting to play a nice trick on the people of Nanjing. Because remember, also, the Eastern courts are fine with letting the world collapse. I do like to say with
Anyway,
the Naga,
The comments.
we shall not speak of the Naga. I am sorry, but we have our reasons. And I think I know the reasons. They know what you do. They know you're motherfuckers.
Bring back the weird pregnancy talk about the snake people, please. That's an improvement from what we just goddamn looked at.
Now, many of our Hengi Yokai cousins speak poorly of the rat children. But I shall not be so enlightened. The Nezumi are as worthy of Luna's gifts as any of us. You see, because they spread the bombs that we made. We were the ones that caused COVID.
I can believe it. I can believe it. Fuck.
Now that
You
being
see,
said,
Dr. Fauci was one of our researchers. He's a kinfolk.
all right, because we have to get into the their actual laws from Gaia itself. I command you to destroy that which harms Gaia. Fair enough. I command you to aid your brothers, your sisters, and that which serves Gaia. I command you to rear your mother, myself, your aunts, your uncles, and our favored servants. I command you to keep your duty first in your heart and to listen to my teachings. And then, because she knows her little shits, I forbid you to exterminate the humans.
I forbid you
Put
to
them
make war on your brothers and sisters. I forbid you to break your word. I forbid you to end yourself for reasons of honor.
I free you
And
to do anything else necessary to achieve our goals. By any means necessary.
You know,
The ends justify the means.
you know those fur farms where they just grow foxes and then butcher them? I don't really feel that bad about that anymore.
How are these a player? This is like playing as the Nafandi.
And now you
All
know
right.
why you kick out players who want to play these on site.
Page 155. I want to note this as the character bit. So you want to play a fox? May we congratulate you on your excellent taste.
Die in a fire, person who wrote that.
They breed true. They are the only shifters to breed true all the time.
Boo!
Well, I want you.
They also
this is
don't
like, this is like
incite
saying
delirium.
this is like saying I want to play Charnel Horses of Europe, but as a member of the SS.
No, this would be like
Einsatzgruppen.
This would be like, okay, we're playing in the Barbed Wire Kingdom, and you're all members of insert the most embarrassing white national organization like Groy
Oh no.
Percy.
Well,
Like
no,
that's
no,
what we're dealing with here. This is
no. I would say
awful.
you're specters of former camp guards,
Yeah, and you're just going hardcore stupid edge play.
which are
Oh,
literally edge. You're literally trying to turn Holocaust victims into evil versions of themselves.
I
Also, don't incite delirium in humans. Breed true, and climb out of
they
beasthood
don't
on their
incite.
own.
Well, you want to know why? Because then they could do their ha 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 ooh, ooh seduce me. Oh, what's that? Fucking die. By the way, let me. How many pages is this? Like 30? They wasted
I'm
30
surprised.
pages on this.
Are we talking about Kitsune or Chakot at this point?
Purge it out of
The
the
upside.
airlock and nuke it. It's the only way to be sure at this point.
By the way, the upside, guess what? They don't heal like other werewolf shifters.
They die easy. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
what happened was, okay, I know exactly what happened. I don't know who wrote this. Feel the most amount of shame for writing
Effectively,
this. But what happened was
all damage is aggravated.
Well, no, here's why they did that. Here's why they did this. They made this garbage fucking thing. They managed to get it in because they needed the page space. But then it had to have been balanced by having the... I imagine during playtesting, I don't know who was doing the running, but the person who made this probably played this, was a complete shitter, and this was a house rule that became real because they were just tired of dealing with it. Thank God they die horribly easy because everything's aggravated. This is horrible.
I do like that they have this sidebar, the obligatory abomination question, which is that some Kinjin will try to embrace everything. Once a blood-drained Kitsune is given a morsel of vitae, she goes up in a brief but intense pillar of flame. Also, I think we skipped past this, but there was a reference to the Scarlet Queen and the Ebon Dragon as being the ones who created or were in the First Age.
Yeah.
I wonder what book came out this time.
You forget
I
the
wonder
worst
what book
part
was
of
in
all.
development at this time.
You forget the worst part of all, that these pieces of shit double their lifespan with each rank they get. Which means that you can actually do the 2,000-year-old little girl.
Also, Kojin Kitsune are almost always Asian, as they are the superior race. And unfortunately, some of them have mongrelized, but we're okay with it.
He's not completely joking. He's gilding the lily a little bit, but that's basically what they wrote.
They're also ADHD and possible sociopaths as children.
Holy shit.
By the way,
they have always known they are special. They have always known they are special, and becoming Kitsune is the first true justification that they are the favored children of the world.
I think another Kin Furry wrote this. In Otherkin
Nazi fur.
Yeah, I'm curious. Is this the only? I want to know who all of the writers are.
No.
I want to know who wrote this.
Was this? I'm going to say it's ghost written. This entire section was actually made by a former member of Japanese High Command, and he's not only a fetishist, but he's trying to justify the actions of Japan in World War II.
No, he's one of the members of Unit 731 the U.S. protected, and on his. And he wrote this as
I'm gonna write down the results of my experiments as in a science paper, and also create an RPG.
No. Here's what happened. The White Wolf was opening its doors, and they found this manuscript. There was like the scent of bad body odor, grease, some weird questionable fluids, and they all turned to Phil, who is upside down, eyes bleeding from the ceiling, and they say, and they open their mouth to say it wasn't him. He wakes up from his weird drug chase, he looks at it and says, I didn't put that there. And he looks terrified. He looks terrified. And every time they threw it out, it would just reappear and add another page of garbage fan fiction. So that after the third time, they just put it in here just to get rid of it, to banish it.
Wait, hold on.
Mechanically,
Hold on. Nito is saying that the guy who wrote Beast wrote this as a draft. I am
No.
looking back up here. No. McFarlane is not here. We have Brian Campbell, Harry Heckle, Heather Heckle, Dina McKenney, Ethan Skemp, and Kathleen Ryan.
One of them is
Additional
responsible.
material by Aaron Anderson and Aileen E. Miles.
One of them had to have written this, and one of them must feel much shame. Holy shit.
So, a few things to note. Kitsune are the only shifters with access to hedge magic.
What?
Okay, before we go into this, Squirrel Killer brings an excellent point. We should definitely look to see who worked on changing breeds. Because I'm starting to suspect one of them was involved in this. And yes, they have magic. Because, you know, fuck actually make being already really powerful as a shifter. You know, having aggravated damage in a lot of stat lines. Yeah, that's not bullshit enough. Let's give them magic to boot. Oh, well, you know who?
It's sorcery.
I knew it
It's
was
hedge
one of the
magic.
women. I knew one of the women had to have written it, because the weirdest Fox people I've known are women usually. Kathleen
We are going to
Ryan.
have to. I'm going to recommend everybody check back on our Changing Breeds book and see what they wrote for the Kitsune part.
Look, I'm sorry, but this was your baby. But much like that commission from the Primal Peerage, the Beast Splat we looked at, sometimes you gotta throw it in the bathwater. Like, you gotta turn the baptism into an execution. I'm sorry, man.
So,
Them's the breaks. By the way, they have their own magical language. They have their own language, and it's Kitsuneko! Oi!
Adam is dying right now.
These are so insufferable. These things are so insufferable, man. Oh, they have a senpai. They have a senpai background.
They
Ooh,
also have, of
Sugoi.
course, magical paper magic.
It's origami.
Yes.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, also by the way,
No, remember the comic?
based on their connection to the elements, as I say, if you're attuned to fog, you'll find water, ocean, river, cloud, mist, steam, wind, and air spirits more approachable, friendlier than the average Garou might.
By the way, you know the comic? Remember how the girlfriend of that guy dies? They dropped an origami. That is the artist and the writer for that comic killing the annoying Kitsune character. I just realized that.
I want to say that.
Oh, God.
I think this is less insufferable than Matt Ward's writing on the 5th edition Space Marine Codex and the 5th edition Grey Knights Codex combined, and those were Mary Sue as fuck.
Yeah, it makes Matt Ward look reasonable. It's not good.
He redeemed himself by making that shitpost against Peter as they were complaining about the plastic fur on plastic gaming models.
By the way, Angelo Arroyo says that the Hermetics and the Venture are more humble than them. Their ego is, it's not that they're humble, it's that they themselves are not aware on how far they can make their ego grow. They probably are envious that they never thought of being this self-centered. They probably are angry that they never thought of being this selfish. This is a testament to the failure to thrive.
I think you can get one of the Earthbound. I think you can get one of the Earthbound to repent for their actions, than get a Kitsune to chill the fuck out.
Hey, you know why the demons fell? They read this book. And they just kind of realized, oh, well, the world's creation is fucked.
That's what the demons saw. They asked God.
Lucifer saw this book and said, well, I guess humanity's fucked. Someone wrote this. We gotta revolt. I'm sorry.
I guess God's wrong.
They saw the Kitsune and that's why they fell.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, hedge magic is very foxy. While we'd be less to suggest what is basically a crossover, we'd be right behind the idea of letting Kitsune have access to mage in games that have delved into crossover complications.
Die in a hole. Die in a hole. Shove your head in. Die in a hole.
Level 1, Seduction. Holds a powerful attraction for mortals and can cause humans to fall in love with her.
Can we talk about the snake people fucking again? Because I much prefer that over this.
You could also use the Smell of Man to scare off potential mates for your love interest. I'm sorry, wolves, bears, owls, and other predators.
This is more demented than Made the RPG, and you can roll lesbian as one of your character quirks. I'm not kidding. That's a real fucking thing you can roll on your 66 die.
So that
Yes,
No,
because Maid is a joke game.
yeah,
it's a joke.
this is not.
Kitsune are masters of hunting, sensing, and tracking magics.
No, you forgot that they can change their teeth into any metal they want.
Wait,
Sorceress Bite.
so they could turn into liquid mercury?
They can. They also can turn into any. This is.
Fox Girl 10,000. Sorry, T1000.
I think I know what happened. Yeah. This.
Oh,
was
you can
made
just strike it. You can just strike an enemy to make them blind for one full day.
Okay, here's what I think happened.
With stinging pain, presumably in the eyes.
Kathleen Ryan wrote this, and during playtesting of Henge Yokai, everyone was really okay because they had no clue. Like, my guess is it wasn't as developed as it was now. And then she kept doing this shit, and that's why they added that they die like frogs in a blender. Just as a attempt, a bare, pitiful attempt to kind of inflict some balancing. Because, you know, giving a shapeshifter the ability to also cast magic, that's not broken at all. I mean, it's not like they had a character that could do that and get blown up in Mexico City because they realized how fucking stupid that was.
Hold on. The path gifts for the doshi, the sorcerers, they can just do ritual sacrifice to divine the future. Legend has it they stole it from a black spiral dancer. And the sorcerers insist they never use Hengyokai, werewolves, or kinfolk for divination. But they'll use humans. And they're very careful to dedicate the ceremony to the Celestines incarnate and totems opposed to the worm. Totally using the power of the worm for this.
He's not joking. That's in here
Listen.
somewhere. I'm going to be honest at this point, like the words have blended together into the Aklo language. I'm hearing the idiot flute players play in the background. I think I see the yellow sign. I'm almost tempted to just jump into the impossible landscape and put on the mask and just stop being right now. Holy shit.
This is like if a renegade inquisitor wrote a guide on how to be the most terrible renegade inquisitor ever.
You're not wrong.
Listen, we need to use the spirits of demons to genocide entire parts of the Imperium because cleansing that corruption actually will help the Emperor ascend to his true form as the true god of the warp.
You know things are bad when the Ratkin being responsible for the sarin gas attacks on the Tokyo subway is nowhere near as egregious as what the fuck I'm reading right now.
They could just connect to yin and yang. No problems with that.
At this point, the Nezumi did no wrong. They didn't do nothing.
They can transform into any physical element and allows her to merge with and move through larger bodies of it.
Yep.
They just turn to air.
Yeah, I mean, that way you can't touch me. I have the power to have all the powers.
At rank 5, you can turn into Moonlight.
Maybe this is the pen name of Eric Cartman. You know, remember when they did the anime episode of South Park where I have Balrog, I have the power to have all the powers? That's what happened. I can already tell you right now that I would never let a single person who wants to play this into my table.
And you can have various communal gifts. Then you have Jufu, paper magic. See, not only do they have all of these gifts, the ability to use gifts from other beasts, hedge magic, but they also can use paper.
Hey, just as another reminder, just as a fun note, Tremere can get this disgusting because of the various schools of thaumaturgy. The difference is they kind of have to work to get those. And I guess you're supposed to kind of work to get these as a Kitsune. But the Tremere are more likable.
Oh, and by the
The
way, you can.
Tremere are more likable. Oh god.
No, I'm going to call this. No, this is Jufu here. No, this is actual magic. This is
that's the other
Prime.
thing. Yeah, this.
They have
Yeah.
two. I think they permanently have 2 dots in Prime.
You're saying that. Remember, Kathy wants them to be able to use spheres like a mage. This is horseshit.
They don't want them to use
Element
spheres. They want them to
level
use
1.
hedge magic. There's a difference.
Level 1.
At the same time,
She did say
this
that they
is
can plunder
stupid.
mage though. for
Level
roads
1
and shit.
can create a small amount of one of the basic elements by destroying a kami bearing the element symbol. That is rote, that is using some sort of device, and that is using a sphere. That is matter, and that is prime.
Yes, and also remember, Kathy did say that you should probably use mage to further flush out their hedge magic. She wants you to make them more broken.
At level 3.
This is more busted. Hey, remember in Changing Breed, where if you turn into a rhino shifter, you can just keep chasing the dude, screaming, "Why are you running?" as you get mowed down with machine guns and don't give a shit because of how much HP you have? This is more broken than that.
You can just create a fake passport at level 2. Level 3, you can just banish people from other realms. Also at level 3, you could just make an origami animal, and then it will
Yes.
create an original one at full size. And then may take the form of the animal represented by this kami.
Wait, I think I now know why. Okay, we found it, Tech. We found the reason Exalted Lunars exist. They saw how broken this piece of shit was, and then they said, we need to make a whole game just to contain this.
At level 5, they can just kidnap people or changing breeds and shove them into the Umbra.
I mean,
They don't need a
werewolves can
fucking.
do that.
Well, no, they don't need to breach through the veil or anything like that. They
No,
just do that.
Werewolves can do that. You can do a whole kill squad by sneaking into the Umbra and just kind of, and then.
Yeah, but that's you
bullshit.
going through it. No, this is literally a fox in the Mirrorlands can pull a target in with him, while a fox in the physical world can throw his target into the Umbra while remaining behind. You can just toss an unsuspecting human, because they don't suffer delirium, into the equivalent of the Shadow Realm.
Angel points out, but sorcery is a dedicated book and more specific than sphere magic. Yeah, but guess what? Guess what one they suggested to further amplify these fucking things?
This is a sorcerer that can use sphere magic and does not violate consensus.
And on top of that, has all of the bulk of the guru. Aside from the damage output, where it's all aggravated, this is not balanced. This is a piece of shit.
Oh, and by the way, we're not.
No,
yeah.
I can say this now. Red Talons, I apologize, because while you had
I
the
wasn't
worst
familiar
player,
with your game.
No, I have had the worst player I ever knew who played Werewolf was a Red Talon. But the Red Talons, at their worst, just like to do the white girl thing. It's awful.
Also,
I don't want to hear it,
yeah.
and they're also misanthropic fucks. But they don't do this. They don't break the game. They're not obnoxious. I'm honestly sorry, Red Talons.
Also,
Red Talons,
Jimmy,
Black
you are right.
Furies. I am sorry.
I apologize, Red Talons and Black Furies. I wasn't familiar with your game.
Listen, Adam, what if that player was actually Kitsune in disguise as a Red Talon?
Fuck.
Total death.
Anyway,
I do have to agree with
total Fox.
We're not even going to bother.
Hold on, I do have to
we're not
agree
even
with Jimmy Jones. Yeah, this reads like 2 different books, because they did
Because
say,
it
yeah,
is.
It's 2 different books.
It's 2 different books. They couldn't exactly justify a really short Kitsune book, especially when they were already publishing material on, well, Asia. So why not wrap it in together?
The problem is the person who wrote this book, Kathy, did not know how balancing works and made a broken, arrogant, obnoxious, misanthropic pile of shit.
But you see, Adam, they're balanced because they can't do close physical combat. They're going to die.
They have a magical
And it's like,
fight.
okay.
I've got a great idea. Sniper rifle.
Yeah.
I do find this interesting. Renown doesn't matter to Kitsune. Certainly there is respect to be had for any accomplishments the Fox might manage, but renown and bragging rights Korax and Gar often rest from it. Strike the Kitsune as shocking vanity.
I ran out of things to
throw.
The nerve. I ran out of things to throw.
And there is the characters. Do we want to
We're
see
just gonna
what the
skip 'em.
No,
Let's
before
just
we
skip 'em.
do,
They're not
do
worth
you
it.
want to know why the renown thing doesn't? That way they can get their bullshit faster. They don't have to spend renown to get their stuff.
Yeah, because again, experience.
Fuck
Gift
you.
gift of another breed, path, or Hagiokai, level of gift times 4.
Fuck you. This is deep hurting, and I would argue it breaks the game so fucking bad. It has nothing to do with the game. So it's the true namer as well. Yes, there's mechanics, but it has nothing to do with the game that we're playing. Jimmy Jones gave a knife emoji. Yeah, I don't blame you. Rated F for failure. Rated F for fucking Fox losers. You know,
I think that we can wrap it up here. First half of this book, excellent.
no, the first
I like
first
it.
3/4 of the book. Because this piece of dog shit is, well, actually, let me calculate how long this is. So 176 pages. Okay. The good news is 2/3 of this book is actually really good.
I
It's
actually
just
was
you also have the
surprised.
other third.
My initial
Decent to low.
my initial read through was this is going to be very Orientalist and just basically when
and
we're
fun.
referring
It
to
would be fun. It has Godzilla as a character. That's
yes,
fun.
is that it clearly is coming from Westerners that have their engagement of Asia from pop culture. And honestly, they
But
don't
they
seem
actually
to. They're
put
not
a
like
little bit of effort,
we're
too.
not. Yeah, we're not ashamed, and they're not ashamed of it.
They're not ashamed. They knew the tone they were going for. And they actually at least did enough research that while it's bare bones, it's not as deep into the weeds as you can get on philosophies like Confucianism or Taoism or the Hindu concepts. It at least gives you enough foundation to do what you want with it. It gives you
And
a variety of fun ideas. The shifters in general are different. If you ever wanted to play a Shadow Lord very differently from this, you would play one of the Haken, because they're Shadow Lords, but without the duplicitous nature. If you want to play a more civilized Sharkman, you play one of the Samobitos, because they are capable of working. If you want a different way the pack works, or if you want to play different shifters changing breeds without having to worry about the guru killing them all, it works fantastically for this. It's great. And then the last third is a garbage fan fiction about some obnoxious fox fucks who have all of the powers to have all the powers, and the only thing that's stopping them is they die like frogs in a blender.
I will say there was one positive of the last section. It has given me a great idea for a mage chronicle.
You could
already know
make
where
these
this
as
is going.
mage antagonists. That'd be great.
Syndicate, big game hunters, and Iteration X wearing predator armor, murdering the fuck out of these people, skinning their pelts,
Yeah.
and decorating their horizon realm with
No,
it.
you're not thinking big brain enough. Iteration X, Bollywood, Hollywood Terminator dancing production, as they dance their way into Japan as part of a music number.
Just, I do want to say wearing predator outfits, just blasting them to death with
Bollywood Predator,
plasma
but the
guns.
Predator is actually depicted as like a 14-year-old fox girl. Ooh. And you have the Indian Terminator. Indian Terminator, the Syndicate member, a New World Order man in black. All in all, I can't rate this book good. 1/3 of it is some of the worst shit I have ever seen in all of the years we've done this. This is actually in the Kitsune section is in my top 3 worst.
You know, I did realize we are going to have to dip into the Warhammer stuff. We should probably see then the codexes that Matt Ward made.
I mean, that's more your guys' thing, but sure. We could shit on that.
But if you want to see Broken and Busted,
it's that. Oh
it's
boy.
That, yeah.
Now, that being said, I cannot hate this book.
I can't.
As a whole.
I don't. I would still rate this as a low decent. Low decent. The problem is a third of it is horrible.
Here's my other bit with the Kitsune. they are still not the most offensive thing we have seen regarding shapeshifters in World of Darkness. They're bad. They're really bad. But are they changing breeds levels of bad?
Yes. I don't even have to think about it. Yes. Changing Breed has the hummingbird
Changing
guys.
breeds allowed actual sphere magic.
Correct. That's not any different from the Kitsune, though.
No, it's quite different.
I don't know. The fact that they ask you to plunder for roach from Mage says all to me.
They
Or at the very least, plundering the Sorcerer book to get more magic. That says a lot.
they talk about the Sorcerer book. They don't go and say get rotes, if I remember correctly.
I mean, at that point, like, let's be honest. I was like 30 pages in, and I was going full rage. Like, I entered my war form, actually.
Also, yes, this was very much...
I
The
considered
Kitsune
it
were
more
definitely an appeal
insufferable.
of this.
The Kitsune, I think, were even in Changing Breed. Yeah, Changing Breeds is a way worse book. But here's the thing. At its worst, Kitsune matches in terms of annoying, obnoxious, unbalanced, horrible to read. And here's the other thing. Changing Breeds has less garbage fanfiction than the Kitsune do. I would argue it's slightly worse. Now here's the thing. Changing Breeds is, well, actually, it's slightly worse for that 30 pages. Changing Breeds is a worse book because it's longer. That's the only reason. But here's the thing. I don't hate this book. 2/3 of it I actually like quite a bit. But I am never going to read anything past the page 120 whatever again. As far as I'm concerned, anything after chapter 5 does not exist. It never existed. And I have a kick on site order for anyone who wants to play this. It's a decent book. I can't rate it good. I wanted to rate it good, but the Kitsune section is way too fucking long. That's my review of this.
Yeah,
thing.
that is. I'd love to know what playtesting was like for this.
Well, given that they made a comic where the Kitsune dies horribly after being eaten by a spider, I think that should tell you so much. Given that they made Exalted first edition after this, I think it told you what they kind of wanted to do after that trash fire. Fuck. Do we even want to do another book after this? Like, make a mulligan? I know we're working.
Well,
I will say next week we're going to also cover another pretty terrible book, Hunter Incognito Mode with the Gallard Group podcast, which I have linked in posts and descriptions, and we'll be doing that on a Sunday night. It'll be a bit of a Thunderdome, I think. And then part 2 will come over to our channel. As for if we'll do a Monday stream, well, honestly, after my psyche stitches itself after reading that garbage, probably. We'll
But
just
if
have
not,
to let our brain rests after that.
if not, remember, folks, spay and neuter your Kitsune.
Make sure to spay and neuter all Kitsune, and make sure that they are tagged so that we can chart their population to prevent containment breach. Have an excellent night, everyone, and remember, there is no third third of this book. It is 120 something pages.